Everyone, welcome to Trader TV Live. Futures all in positive territory to start this holiday shortened week. The Nasdaq up 2/3. The ES trying to work into 0.5%. The Dow essentially flat with the Russell 2000 also 0.5%. Oil above 2% as more belligerencies on this side of the world with the Venezuela-U.S. conflict looking to expand here. Bitcoin also moving back above 90,000, catching a nice move up over the weekend. There is a whole lot to talk about this morning, guys. Tesla in focus as Elon Musk's pay package gets reinstated on Friday, and Nvidia looking at mass producing the H200 again since 2013 for export into China, and all sorts of chaos happening on the streets of San Francisco as the power outage goes out there, and Waymo cars all over the road littering and blocking the street. More to talk about with AV Zadera as Baidu ties up with LYFT and Waymo for autonomous vehicles in Europe.
Yeah, the LYFT and Uber partnership with Baidu is pretty interesting. I think also here outside of the realm of AVs, I do want to talk about gold and silver because these are actually doing pretty well. GLD and SLV being the ETFs for this. I would also maybe keep an eye here on UNH today because we know on Friday, UNH took a bit of a hit around 3 p.m. along with some other health insurance names as U.S. President Donald Trump once again went after the industry. Speaking of Trump, he and Hegseth are speaking at 2:30 p.m. today, so always potentially market moving events when U.S. President Donald Trump gets to talking. No economic data, though. Apparently, we are going to have an interview with the Fed Myron. So Fed Stephen Myron's had to have an interview at 8:30 a.m. No data, though.
All right, guys. Yeah, all the metals are in all-time highs. You have silver up 2.5%, really moving here to start the morning. Good morning, boys.
Good morning, everybody. Yes. Actually, gray shirt day.
I did see that we had gold and silver absolutely ripping up. We got a lot of things going upside today. Tesla, Nvidia, Bitcoin, not the Packers. The Packers had a 99% chance of winning that game, by the way, in Vegas.
That was
and then
a weird one.
Romeo Dobbs fumbles the onside kick, and then you guys escaped from.
We didn't even play that.
Did Allen play the whole game? Because I saw he got 8. Because I have him in the other pool.
Oh, he played the whole game.
Okay, because I saw he had 8. I was just like, how come he waiting for 8 fantasy points or whatever it was in playoffs? He averages like 25 points or something a game.
Let's just put it this way: if your quarterbacks in fantasy are Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, you're doing well on most of the time.
Yeah, most years.
Except for the fact when in the playoffs you have the backup quarterback towards
got hurt too. I know.
The Bills didn't play very well either, but at least they somehow eked out a win. But you know what?
Justin Herbert played really well.
Regardless,
Jordan Love got concussed.
What's I'm saying, like regardless of how things went for your team, don't run out there and just start punching things if it didn't work out.
Who was doing that?
Shout out to DK Metcalf.
Oh, I know the guy in the audience there. He wasn't a punch. I thought he grabbed the guy.
He kind of swung at him.
Oh man.
It looked like he swung at him. Now here, he probably. My guess is what the fan said he said ain't what he said. But that's just me. But if we're talking about the market here, there we go.
There it is.
Paramount amends its superior 30.
There we go.
Notice how they call their offer superior.
Larry Ellison getting involved.
Larry Ellison, irrevocable personal guarantee of $40 billion in equity. Okay.
Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Warner Brothers shooting up here 28.
See, that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna tell me that the 30 is what you can get, you could have got the 30 already, but maybe you have another chance to grab that. Netflix still has yet. Netflix is gonna like. I was gonna say Netflix still has yet to make any kind of a hey, we're gonna raise our bid or anything, nonsense like that. But Netflix goes higher because I guess on the off chance that the Skydance deal is the one that gets accepted, then Netflix isn't on the hook. But yeah, a little bit of a move there in Netflix. Now more things moving to the upside. Really, like it's a holiday short week and volumes might be a little bit lower, but there's still going to be things that move. DJT for the last couple of days has been a mover, is what it is. Fusion business. CCL was going crazy after their earnings.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there's lots.
Plenty to watch.
We thought that there could be a little bit of a run here into Christmas, so just with 2 more days left, 2 more full days left, and then it's a half day on Wednesday. So. Get ready for that. But there goes Warner Brothers on that news. So you saw the deal right there, amended offer. I don't know why. I mean, it's still $30. So I don't have to. I guess it's just now that they have the guarantee from Larry Ellison of $40 billion. I guess so. Maybe it's amended offer, but with more guarantees on the financing. I don't think that's going to matter. I mean, they've sort of already accepted a Netflix deal, but it's a nice shot up from 28 to 28.80. There, we got an email over the weekend that there would be no breakfast at all. So everybody was kind of sad.
You weren't here.
And then. And
Read the shirt.
no, he's saying.
It's just.
Are you happy for the holidays, Randy?
No.
No, I was trying to ask you a question. What are you going to say yes to?
I don't usually get orange.
I know, but anyways, the idea was that there was no breakfast, but then today there is a breakfast, so these are freezing.
Like,
I don't know.
That's
I
different.
can't really necessarily peel a full orange here while being
Yeah,
on
that'll have to
the
wait till
air.
the middle of the day there.
Yeah, it's not boiled eggs today, guys. It's just omelets. So Sharif is happy. We do have. We're all happy. There's no more of that bread stuff. As Adair had mentioned here, gold up 1.7% at all-time highs. So that was a good add to the portfolio. We should have added some silver because silver also is at $63 and all-time highs for silver as well. So like no matter what you're invested in, even Bitcoin right here today up to 90,200. So that's nice. And Ethereum's been running around as well. So we'll we'll definitely have a look over here at those names. IBIT would be the one that's in focus here today, and that's up another 1.5% or so this morning, 2.5% this morning. Yeah, seems like nothing to complain about. Oil's up.
Yep.
What is down then? Actually, there must be something that's down.
Oh, there's like a penny stock.
Maybe SMR is down, or
on my quote board, almost nothing. Like there's things that are flat, so like Apple's 0.06, Rivian's 0.2, Disney's like things that are completely meaningless.
Yeah.
I think is it LAZR? There's not Luminar. Yeah, it is.
Seals?
Yeah, Luminar is in trouble.
Oh, Luminar.
If you want something that's bad, Luminar is down 50%.
5-0.
Yeah, they're like penny stock.
Gosh, I have to read the story on that one.
Yeah,
What is the story over there?
Probably going
Bankrupt
under.
or LAZR? I thought that was a big one.
Late.
Didn't oh no, it was Rivian. Rivian. I wasn't here on Friday, but did Rivian hold $20? Oh, $22. Okay.
Oh, way over $20.
Okay. Yeah, Rivian had itself. I didn't see what they were doing on Friday there. They had themselves a day on Friday. So yeah, I was wondering if they broke through 20 and didn't look at it over here. See this, Ramin? $20. Boom. See you later. There it goes through. We really like some Rivian action over there. Yeah, taking out all the levels. Okay, that's nice. Down today. Rivian, come on, man. But $24 looks like that's going to be pretty good there as well for Rivian. So yeah, let's go. I mean, I don't know, are the banks up? It seems like oil's up, gold's up, the bank's up, everything's up. Yo, what's up, MF Dane Generous? The VIX is down. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Well, obviously, that's the thing.
Yeah, that
like,
makes sense.
Well, yeah, well, obviously.
JP Morgan up, Amazon, Netflix, Tesla. Does Tesla today break 500?
Tesla needs to break 490. That's the real problem.
Yeah, what is it? It's 487 right now, I think.
Yeah, on Friday, it was a huge rejection of 490. Just one of those.
I haven't even looked at 500 yet.
You took that break, you just smoked because it completely reversed. Even when the market was strong,
Oh, yeah.
like Tesla just couldn't go anywhere.
Right off the open.
Unfortunately, the other big mover was CoreWeave. Yeah, CoreWeave had a monster day on Friday. Went like about $12 or something like that. So like 16 or 17% for CoreWeave. Another 3% today. We'll have Nvidia as a bit of a headline. It just seemed like it was almost technical for CoreWeave. Goes right into some prior highs. Double bottom, and now rallying. Now the question is, can we sustain said rally? Because
Micron is actually the big winner today, man. Micron's up 4%. So there you go. Like I was thinking that their best day might have been their birthday, their earnings day right there, and then bang. No, not at all, man. Continuation play here for Micron today, up to 276. All right. Lots of things happening over here today, man. It looks like we're going to have a pretty littered. Our watch list is great, man. Has Uber on it, Oracle, Rocket Labs, TE, T1 Energy, Honeywell down 1% there. Crypto stocks up, Apple up, gold and silver on the watch list today. Tesla, Nvidia, packed with big names. I'm sure there's going to be some smaller names to
Rocket
trade
Labs with another.
as well. Rocket Labs, good, man. I'm really liking these. I got ARK.
had like a successful launch as well.
Astis, another launch over there.
They're up they're both up, like whatever. The difference is Rocket Labs already at the high. AST has to get back there, but they're both in play today for sure. It's just one looks distinctly stronger than the other on the old big chart. But over at the desk, I can't help but notice that Adair is wearing red, and
She knew about laser, that's why.
oh come on, what is that? Why is that symbol still there in the middle?
Which one? Mask?
Mask.
What's up with that?
Okay, so what had happened was, on Friday, behind there, it wasn't readily obvious to me that we don't just put up the Dow, Qs, whatever. I just kind of figured it was like the top volume stocks or something. What I didn't realize is that's actually our list from the viewers. Like, it's the visualizer stocks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was like,
oh, so whatever goes up on there goes up on there.
Right, so I'm like, what is this mask stock?
So what
because
was
I figured
mask?
it was like a mover or something doing volume. So I pull it up and it did like a couple 100,000 shares.
So it's nothing.
It was absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden, the second it got mentioned, everyone starts pulling. Now they're going to do it again. Watch, Mask is going to lead the day.
Yeah, you can see right here.
Oh, we blocked Mask? No, we didn't.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Oh,
you can't
okay.
put
Yeah,
our
there's
names
Mask.
anymore.
See, so it lights up right here. So it isn't. But why was this up here, anyways?
Because people were having fun with it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
there was a theory about
Mask off?
one of the actors from The Mask recently passed away, like the villain guy. But like, so people were saying it was that, but
Well, maybe.
I don't know. It just kind of, it's one of those things. And then the more you brought it up or the more you looked at it, the more people
Well,
would type
then
it.
Neil, on that note, thanks for bringing it up again.
Well, that's exactly. Get more people typing it in.
No, it's a good idea. Let's see if we can keep that as number one right here. Yeah, no, they're just all juvenile. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's also
That's
fair.
fine. I mean, that probably makes a lot of sense there. All right, mask off, Adara, back over there. Mask on, mask off. A little future reference back there. So, all right, back to the desk.
Speaking of movies, Disney's Avatar Fire and Ash launched this weekend, and it didn't do so well, at least not compared to the prior releases. So they opened up with $88 million in sales domestically. That is well below analyst expectations of about 110 to 125 million in revenue. It trails the 2022 release of The Way of Water, which posted about $134 million for the same period. About 5.2 million American went and watched it over the weekend, which is a sharp drop from the 8.7 that went during the tail end of the pandemic in 2022. International markets did a bit better, though. They are 257 million, bringing the global opening to a little bit shy of 350. The 3-hour runtime may have hurt things, as this is a bit of a longer movie.
Well, yeah, and I mean, not to get too into it, but the reviews for this were also not promising. A lot of people saying it was a retread of the second one, which, as you mentioned, released in mid-2022. AMC, though, actually claiming victory on Avatar, believe it or not. They're saying that apparently this was their best pre-Christmas weekend since 2021. So in about 4 years, more than 4 million customers at AMC and Odeon theaters over the week from Thursday to Sunday. Again, part of that, of course, being Avatar, Fire and Ash. So interesting note there for AMC, even if Disney cannot really claim the W on this.
You guys were looking for something negative. Disney, a little bit negative here. And just to give you guys an idea of how this one compares to the original release back in 2009, of course, $2009 a little bit different. $77 million is what they brought in domestically on the opening weekend. But when you look at the global and the total sum, brought in $2.7 billion globally, guys.
I do think there's something to be at the distance and the length of the movie. I think that I think a lot of people are losing patience with size and length of movies, right? I mean, we're also used to these sort of short form videos or watching something on YouTube for a couple minutes and then switching off of it. I wonder if that's playing a piece of it. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like there's something there.
I feel as if, you know what, I'll cop to that. I didn't even watch the second one yet. At some point, I'll get around to it, but hey, it was like a visual spectacle thing, which I don't know, like if the story held up well enough, and then on top of that, like Sean's saying, like maybe people aren't interested in going to super long. Like it better be really good if it's going to be long. Like if Christopher Nolan can get away with making a long movie, because a lot of adults will go watch it. I just don't know if you can get away with it for something like this, where you're probably trying to get a younger audience to. So it's disappointing, but I don't want to, don't completely write off Disney here. What do we have? Japan's finance minister says they have free hand to take bold action on the yen. That's something we know about, right? So as they're raising rates in Japan, they will defend the currency. And they've done it in the past, and they will do it again. So we were talking about USD yen on Friday. Worth keeping an eye. One of the more key pairs, but they are certainly have already proven their willingness to do that. I know just for Disney, I know it doesn't look the best, and yeah, it's down when the market's up. It's only down 0.1%. But if you look at the last, I'm going to say this, and then it's going to break today. If you look at the last week, it was at least a very clear defined range. So it's not like you're breaking down underneath this little I want to call it a mini bull flag. When you go to the daily, it doesn't look so great, but 110 up into 113. On a week like this, the holiday shortened week, if you're not busting out of the range, sometimes in lower volume days, you want to play the range. That's if you're a Disney trader. Volume is pretty much nil, but it's got some support here. So as long as it can hold on to this area, it's not all bad. I'd say I'm disappointed. Realistically with this stock, because it felt like it was poised going into their earnings in November. That, okay, yeah, you know what, this is a stock that's been waiting to break out. A lot of the bad news is gone. Oh well. At least we're gonna get what is it? The Mandalorian and Grogu this summer, so that'll be fun.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
They got a couple. I mean, they're doing a couple of Star Wars things.
That's fun.
But that
like
one's a
Grogu.
movie instead of the show, because
like
usually
Grogu.
that's just they've only. It'll be interesting because usually when they do a movie, it's always been so directly like it's a Star Wars movie, not one of these spin-offs in the theater. So we'll see how it goes. Like
They're done with all the Star Wars, all the main Star Wars. Are they? I don't know. I mean, I guess they can release one at any time. I guess you never know.
No, they get. That's the way they butchered the last three, I would imagine. So, and they're just going to do these spin-off things.
I think you want to just continue to look at Netflix if you're going to trade anything in the media space for now. $95. It just had that up and down movement there where we had a new bid, I guess, from Paramount there, trying to isolate that $30 and just say that, you know, financing is there for that. So if you guys want to take $30, then you're all good with that deal. Netflix actually went to the upside on that move, and now it's faded back just a little bit. I still like this 93 to 94 area here on Netflix. I think no matter what the deal, no matter what happens, I think Netflix is a decent buy down here. We had the Jake Paul fight over the weekend. I think it got a lot of good reviews. Again, like ratings were pretty high for that one, and I don't think people were very disappointed. I think it showed up to what it needed to be. It wasn't, you know, I think it was something that was exciting to watch, and you know, hopefully puts boxing. I mean, Joshua Fury, at least that came from that. Hopefully, Fury was sending some trash talks about why are you fighting that man, and then the man cashed a $92 million check, and then now Tyson Fury fully understands why. But yeah, that should be another good fight, and if that hits Netflix, I mean, that's good. We have football coming up on Netflix over Christmas. I just think there's some good opportunities there for some nice sort of tailwinds heading into the new year for Netflix. So I kind of like that one as well. Trade Mask. I'm just going to see what Mask is doing.
Don't even.
I want to see it.
If it's done, 20,000.
MASK. Oh man, because I have my mask off today. So here we go. 4.3, down 6% on Mask. Oh no, right here. What a story this Mask is again here. From 240 all the way. Yeah, this one's definitely getting it right there. It needs to get an LED light mask or something like that for its face over there. All right, so that's Mask, and it's off today, so we're excited for that one. All right, man. Also, the watch list is out, so make sure you do check that.
Yes,
Sharief's Morning Note is out as well for all you members. You can join it for just $5 a month. You can get, I think it's 13 or 14 pages today, the Morning Note about everything you need to know, key levels.
Mask will not be on there, but I promise you, most of the names that I think people are interested in trading will certainly be.
What the hell? First story right here is Mask. No, this is what it looks like, guys. It's Tesla reacts to Musk's pay package, so it's all right here. Yeah, see, look, 2 of 13 pages over here right now. You can see we're all over this. Nvidia, it's all this, man. Waymo, like, look, Baidu is on here. Disney, like, the whole talk on Disney. 5 or 6 points there about the movie itself. So go make sure you do check that out. You got to hit join. It's for $5 a month for the less than a cup of coffee. Danny boy. Yeah. We have a super chat though first, Ramin, over here. I know everybody is eagerly awaiting. Neil, it's for you. It's about gold. Normally it just gets put right on there. I will put it on the screen right now. Right, I play gold. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Mining companies the same way you play the Bitcoin Treasury companies when BTC moves. Can you look at HYMC? It dives down every midday and then jumps back up again. Yeah, we can look at.
Isn't that Highcroft Mining? That's the company that AMC I think is invested in.
That was and that was years ago. Oh my goodness! Like time seriously flies. Completely.
It's
But
yeah.
one thing
I can't believe it's Christmas already.
Well, the fact that it's already Christmas, already you got to be kidding me. The year is gone, another year older. But one of the things, you mentioned here, it usually dives down every midday, then jumps back up. I don't know that it's that distinct, because when I look at like it did it on Friday. You had a clean trend the other day, and then you had almost like a trend down the day before. And I'm not necessarily, like there are days where that does happen, but I don't know if I'd, like to me, if you're looking for that kind of a pattern to just say, I'm gonna buy it in the middle of the day, then you need to see something very distinct. That being said, when a stock gaps up like this, like look, when a stock does gap up that big and it doesn't have that kind of a history, like if you look at a 15-minute, like there's no other massive gap ups in the last few weeks, right? So sometimes that can lead to a bit of a trap early on, especially like I'd look at the underlying in that situation. Like what does gold do on the days that it gaps up? Like silver, when it gaps up, I know almost every single open, you have to withstand the dip. And is it going to dip into the prior high? That's a bit much. One thing that you can also look for is it respecting trend? Is it respecting, in this case, it respected VWAP. In this case, it respected the prior highs. Those are better when you've got a bit of a double top going. So it has 2 days on the high, then the next day, it respects that prior high. Like that's a structure I'm looking for. But the day that it gaps up this big and it doesn't have a history of that, I don't know that you can just fall back on some pattern because it's doing something distinctly different. So I would lean away from that whole pattern thing just because it's clearly doing something different from anything else that it's done in the last month. But yeah, it's in the right space to be. All these names are very, very strong. Just the big gap up day, sometimes at the open, they'll sell those off. Now let's go talk some options.
Yeah, let's go see what he's up
with
to.
our good friend Joe.
What are you saying? All right, where do I start? I liked Avatar. Disney ruined Star Wars. I don't know, there's a lot going on this weekend, man. The Avatar movie was pretty good. I watched it at home. IPTV, yes, I will tell you, full disclosure, and good quality. All right, guys, let's get right. Whoa, who hit that one there? That's insane. Yeah, sorry, man, sorry. Anyways, all right, guys, calls. Let's start it off here, guys. GDX, yes, that's correct. Some gold here, guys. Open interest, 1.38 thousand, 1,380 contracts traded at that $89 level. Volume around 25,000 contracts traded on Friday's session. And then as for BM&R, guys, we have open interest around 4,040 with volume around 3,370 contracts. Now strike price $35, and you can see a lot of the names are on a nice gap up and a move here early in the pre-market session. That's going to be expiring at the end of the week, guys. And as for AAPL, at that $280 level, open interest 20,800 with volume around 17,600 contracts. Once again, going to be expiring this week, guys. Now, as for silver, putting in new all-time highs on Friday. Yes, these commodities continue to run, so you want to take a look at them at that $60 strike price, guys. Once again, expiring this Friday. We have 28,000 still current open contracts with volume around 16,400. The volume will reset. The open interest may grow or slightly decrease. Now, as for the bid and the ask, surprisingly a little bit wide there, $12 on that contract, and the delta sitting around 0.508, that is correct, and gamma 0.115, and the at the money IV sitting around 39%. Now, as for the actual contract chart, this is not correct. It was just generated for some reason and hallucinated. This is going to be the actual chart, guys. So once again, you have a week, you come to a peak of around $1.70, you're now trading at $1.15. That's a 33% decrease. While you're sitting around all-time highs, lock in some profits if you've been trading these contracts or have any contracts that expire before the end of the year. Now, I'll see you guys shortly with some upgrades and downgrades.
Of course, we were just even talking about silver, but obviously, if you're looking at GDX for gold, that has been leading the way recently. Like if you look at gold, like gold didn't make a fresh high in the last couple of weeks, but it has been, silver has been, but we just talked about them. GDX, this has been much, much stronger. And it's almost like sometimes you just lead the way, like you lead the way with gold, and then you have this like follow-up catch-up trade, which is what we're seeing right now. So this is the fresh this is the fresh break, and it just happened. But this is more, we were just talking about that super chat. This is in the range of pulling back into the prior high. Like the structure on GDX is pretty good, like 88.5 in here. If I don't get silver today, I'm actually, think about this one if we get some kind of a dip, because it's dipping, if it does, into a pretty distinct prior high at about 88.6. And that's the kind of structure you like to see into the upside. Will it last forever? Obviously not. Like this kind of a run that the metals are on, there will be another pullback. And the last one was pretty heavy. Like it did drop back almost 20 bucks one time. So not yet, because we're just taking all fresh highs. But I do suspect at some point next quarter, like in the first half of January, there will be at least some kind of a pullback here in the metals. But for now, riding the wave.
You know, like, I mean, we talked about, you know, getting a little more diversified into some different names, and metal is a very good place to go, especially if you are a little bit concerned about your overexposure there to some of the equity names that may be in your portfolio. I mean, gold's been having quite the year and obviously outpacing Bitcoin now, not even close. So I would say that gold and silver, definitely something. Copper has been a huge runner as well, something that we can add to the portfolio. I mean, there's more uncertainties here. I mean, Venezuela, we talked about what's happening there with crude oil. That's up to $61 today. So I just feel like gold continues to move higher, man. Silver could also push out. Silver's on a huge breakout as well. So yeah, you guys are all about that, man. Thanks for all the super chats. Keep that going. And we're on at 8 a.m. now. So if you're just joining us now for the first time, thank you for doing that. We're now on 8 a.m. every day this week, and then half day there, off on Christmas Day, and then a half day on Christmas. Yeah. We're excited to be here for all that. And then, of course, a full day on New Year's Eve. We realize that's a very, very strange.
Weird way to do things.
Happens there. Yeah, I saw BBAI had quite a nice day, I think, on Friday as well. People were mentioning that one. Yeah, back up to $6. And BBAI bounces again right off that 200 period moving average. And I was like, at least we've identified that all now as a group, but I didn't buy it again. Like I only bought it the one time when it was down into here, but it's now done it a couple times, and there goes Big Bear AI again, back up to the upside, another 2% today. Let's see if this one can get going. Look at this, just off of this 200 period moving average, man. We identified this one early, like back in April, May, and it's just been really sort of, it hasn't been the greatest if you've been holding on to it, but to trade in and out of it, it's been pretty good. So we'll see if BBI gives us another opportunity to get out at 7 again here. And if it does, I think you take that, then you take the 850 again, and then you just do what I'm doing, is holding for a bigger break after that. So BBAI has been working so far. All right, it's 8:27. We are getting ready. I think Michael Noss might be here with us today. I'm not sure. It's a holiday week, but he's not here yet. But we'll go back over the desk, see what's on their minds. You guys watch any Avatar this weekend?
What?
Avatar? I'm guessing no.
Oh, I didn't. Did you watch
No,
Avatar?
not at all.
No, I'm not going to watch that, Katina, man. But let's talk about Citigroup. Multiple comments today on crypto-related names, a whole bunch, so let's get right down to them. Look, they recalibrated a lot of their price targets on major crypto-exposed equities. They cited updated digital asset valuations as the assumption rather than weakening fundamentals by the company. The first comment here comes about strategy, guys. They cut their price target on strategy from 485 down to 325, but they did maintain that buy rating. They want to emphasize the change is driven by valuation methodology adjustments across the digital asset linked firms and not a negative reflection on their business or Bitcoin exposure. Separately, pardon me, Gemini and Bullish had their price targets adjusted as well. Gemini Space Station had it reduced from 16 to 13 with that neutral rating, citing slower near-term growth expectations. Bullish as well had their price target cut from 77 to 67, maintaining the buy rating. But we really need to stress that all these names are actually still up in the pre-market here, with Circle Adara being named as their city's top digital asset pick going into next year.
Great look for CRCL there. I think in terms of some of these other names, like MSTR, certainly gapping up. I think this one was a pretty good look for sure. It's worth noting they did not buy any crypto last week, so no Bitcoin purchases from MSTR last week. The other one that kind of stuck out to me that is another Treasury play is BMNR. This is Bitmine Immersion Technology. On Friday, they announced they're going to have an investor event on January 15th, so about a month from now here in the new year. So BMNR and MSTR certainly, I think, making some of the better pre-market moves in terms of this crypto space. Maybe keep an eye on these crypto treasury plays.
Yeah, guys, they're all up nicely here. MSTR 3%. You got Riot Blockchain also commented on by Citigroup. I couldn't include that in the morning. No, there was just enough room, but a lot of different comments today on these crypto-linked names.
It'll be interesting to see how well things hold up, because now that you have Bitcoin somewhat stabilizing in a bit of a range, I say somewhat, and I'll get to why it's only somewhat in a second, because 84 is now held twice. You could argue 3 times. The first time we actually got to 80K. I say yes, Randy. This is all service back here. The monitors, I still think.
It's because we're getting old-ass monitors. That's why. So he's got to clean them up, make them look new, right, Randy, over there? There it is.
Something's got to make them look fresh. No, I'm a little skeptical still. And one of the reasons why for Bitcoin is our prior trend line. This is something we talked about on Friday a little bit. I was mentioning this with Obi. Our prior trend line that everyone had, or other people had me draw on, which was a support for the last 2 years on Bitcoin, has turned into resistance twice. So I'm a little skeptical that when this trend, which goes all the way back to October 2023, when that's held, it broke, and ever since it broke, it's 3 times we've tested and found resistance. So even if we bounce from here to get to like that 100 level, you got to break back up through that trend line. So I feel as if whenever it gets up to that top, look short. I don't think we get there today, though. I think you're pretty much in the clear that we're not going to get there today. That would take one heck of a move. For MSTR, I think it's pretty simple. If you run away from 90,000, which hasn't happened yet, about 90,800 has been resistance or so, or maybe like the half as well. On IBIT, it's going to be the 5150 on IBIT, if you're watching. If we break that out, MSTR should go ham. And it's very clear, like MSTR's got this 171.50 at the same time that IBIT's got this resistance at 51.50. So if this doesn't break, it's hard to imagine MSTR doing much of anything through that key level. So for me, I'm watching IBIT. I'm gonna get rid of some of these trend lines because I don't really care about those, but it's that 51.50 level on IBIT. It's above 90K, but it's been resistance. Anyways, if we cannot bust through that, then I don't want the continuation long.
Adam James right here is, hold on, I gotta get in their super chat. We're always gonna, if you send in a super chat, we'll try to get it for you as well. $5 right here, thank you so much. Currently riding a bus, what's up Adam James?
Okay.
Currently riding a bus across beautiful Uruguayan countryside. Ooh, that must be real nice. Right there, great weather I'm assuming too. To the beach, there we go, for 3 straight days. Adara's looking lovely, so there you go, Adara. To all of you, a Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. Adam James, he is abroad, Adam James abroad in Uruguay. So thank you so much. And there it is, Adara, a nice compliment for you today in red. I mean, Christmas red, it's a very, very festive time around here. It's getting a little chilly, but it's going to be good weather. I think it's like 2 to 3 degrees plus Celsius.
No snow, though.
So you're like at 30 to 30, 35, 40 degrees or so Fahrenheit here. Pretty good. We'll take that 10 times out of 10. And there needs to snow a little bit. I mean, it could still snow. The snow will last. I think the ground is cold enough. So if we can get some snow, get a white Christmas going on here.
Like if you live where Randy lives, or like up where my in-laws were.
Live where Randy lives.
They got plenty of, you probably still have plenty of snow, right? You guys still have snow on the ground? Yeah.
Like that's the one question he's saying yes to over there.
That's big.
That's the one question he's saying yes to over there.
What do you mean you don't want the snow?
No, nobody wants the
Christmas,
snow.
man. You want snow for Christmas.
No, you don't. No, you really don't.
Straight up.
But Randy, I was surprised to see him around today, so I was glad to have Randy in today. There's not many. Most of the sort of the IT crew there is taking these next 2 weeks off. So Randy always doing some work in there. Did you grab an omelet yet there, Randy? Or did you grab an omelet yet? Yes. Yes, good. They're pretty good today. Yeah, we had one, but it was nice to see the lunch. Well, we don't know if the lunch is going to be here. So Randy, Ramin would like an omelet as well. She has just mentioned in my ear. So there's the request. When Ramin asks for something, you just get that done immediately, pretty much. Thank you. I remember Ramin hooked us up with those Snickers. I got to go get some Snickers.
That was very kind of Ramin. See, Ramin always gets trash talked by Sharif, but in reality, just such a kind-hearted member of the team is what Ramin really is, Sharif.
All right. It's 8:34. We're going to wait for Michael to come through when he does. I'm sure maybe talking about...
I think he is ready.
Okay, maybe talking about gold or Bitcoin. Yeah, last week he had the red and black lumberjack. What's he got on there today? I can't see him today. We'll see. And last week he had either green screen or not, but he had a very festive background. So we're very excited for that. And we're very excited to have Michael Noss on your screen right now.
You get my attention immediately when you say you want to speak about momentum a strategy around momentum, you have my immediate attention, Mr. Nas. I love the background. I love the lumberjack setup. Everything's looking good over in the Maritimes. Good morning and happy Monday.
Good morning and happy Monday. And we only have 2 days until the Santa Claus rally should start. So that's why it's got to be green, right? It's just for hoping Santa Claus is coming.
All right, Michael, we got chart of the SPY here to start. Nice move up, and then we're caught in a bit of a consolidation. Give us a look.
Yeah, and this is, it's funny because I brought this same strategy with this same kind of chart last week, and my synopsis was, hey, we're getting, this looks like a bit of a bull flag to me. It's been a volatile one, but we've basically gone nowhere since October, and it looks like we're close to getting a breakout. And I brought you guys a bunch of names, and we all laughed about the ding-dong name that ended up making us the most amount of money. And it was just good to see that I was wrong on us breaking out because the market had pulled back a little bit last week, but we were still able to get some names from it. So I'm going to come here with the same idea, and hopefully this time I'm right and the market actually does break out. Because as I mentioned, right, the Santa Claus rally, again, for those who missed the whole presentation I did on that one, very simply, it starts on the 23rd, and then it goes until January 5th, and there's like an 80-ish% chance that we're up anywhere between 1% and 2% in that time frame. So that's this week. So if I'm right and we're going to be up from here, and if the seasonality is right and we end up breaking out, some of these names are going to look very key for breakout, and they're very easy to trade. We're looking to just buy them as they move higher and go from there. So this is the back test from them, and I bring this to the next chart. There is just the back test, and I bring this just to show it's not perfect, right? It's not a straight line up. I want to reiterate that most trend following strategies, breakout momentum, have a sub 50-50 win rate, and this one does as well. It's about 48% right, but it just shows that even with a sub 50-50 win rate, the line goes up over time, right? Each of these dividers is a year. So you can see there's some up to years where the strategy just kind of chops around, and those are usually in bear markets or down markets. But generally speaking, right, this goes up over time. So just wanted to show that, hey, we are looking to take these trades, but we know that half of all of them are going to fail. So we're going to get out quickly when they do, and then ride the ones that actually happen. And if we can get one like that ding dong stock last week, I'll be very happy. If I get one of those a week, I'd be a really, really happy camper. So going through the list here. We got ASO, which is actually something that I've traded quite a bit. This is Academy Sports, and ASO actually generally has a pretty high short float. Last time I checked, it was like 25-ish%, and this one looks really poised here. So this, I'm seeing 15% or 5 days to cover here. And then the thing I like about this style is it's very easy to trade. You see, there's no indicators on the screen. There's nothing fancy going on here. As long as you are okay with the sub 50-50 win rate. The purple horizontal line is the entry that's calculated by the algorithm, and I just drew a little line there to show that it is a bear flag, and then we're just using these prior lows as a stop loss. So you buy a breakout, and then if the breakout fails, you're out very quickly, and if the breakout works, then that's where the real money comes from a strategy like this. So call it $56. It's $55.92, but around $56. If we can get above that, we like that. And then it's around $53.50 or so would be a stop loss, and that's just under those prior lows right there. Which again, I think this is why this is such a popular strategy. Is it kind of just goes on rails on its own. Next one here we have is FitB. There was a lot of regional banks in the algo this week. Tons, I think there was 15 potential regional bank plays. So you could maybe, if you like that chart as a whole, just trade the KRE, or DPST is a triple leverage regional bank play if you're looking for a little more juice. I'm just going to stick, I think, with the individual names. So this is FitB, which is a regional bank, and it's about 48.68 is the entry point, and then our stop losses just sit around there, about 47.50. So you can see, right, we're risking about $1. If we're right, we'll hopefully try to get 2, and then even with a sub 50-50 win rate over time, this works out. Last but not least is I need to actually zoom in here. Oh, it's MasterCard, MA. So again, a lot of financials. Financials are looking really strong. So this is a higher price stock. So for those who don't like higher price stocks, maybe look at the options or something like that. And we're looking for about this 573 to break with about a 567, 568 stop. And the idea behind this is that, again, none of these are like in a textbook for bear flags. And this is why I really like kind of algo or quantitative investing, because they may not do like, it's like the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. To me, these are all spiritually bull flags because they have a big push up, 4 or 5 days of sideways consolidation, and then a potential continuation if we end up breaking through them. So again, very simple trade. Exit rules for this particular strategy is just you hold for a week. And that's uncomfortable to some people to not have profit targets or trailing stops or anything like that. But in buy testing, it does a very good using these time stops. It walks the line very well of if I put out a profit target, then I'm going to miss the rare time where a company gets bought out or has an amazing move and really, really goes for you. So profit targets cap returns, which hurt the strategy. And then also trailing stops are a bit tricky as well because sometimes they get kind of wiggled out and stopped. So what I've done is I've kind of optimized for the optimal hold time, and it's around 1 to 2 weeks. So a little bit of discretion there on the exit could certainly help out. But after about 2 weeks, the strategy starts to break down a little bit.
It's a great look. I've never seen it like quite put like this, but what I couldn't help but notice, obviously, is you got 3 different charts there for the ideas other than the SPY, and there's 3 bull flags on there. So it leads me to ask, is there a specific setup how you trade your bull flags? Like I always say on the midday, no 2 bull flags are created equal. You know, you have ones that have upward channels, horizontal, downward channels. You have compression patterns in the pennant. Are you trading them a little bit differently based on their chart patterns? Like you were giving us, you know, demarked areas where you'd stop out and where you'd look for the breakout. But because the patterns are a little bit different, how do you treat them differently, Michael?
Well, and so they're always a horizontal level, and that's because these are quantified, right? So I've run this is a back test, right? I have to do that. And when you're programming, it's very hard to do like vertical or you know, diagonal lines. That gets really, really hard for systems building. So how I've actually built these bull flags for anyone that's interesting, even though we're looking at daily charts, I've used weekly charts, and I'm looking for week 1 to be a really big, strong, unusually strong green candle. And then week 2 is an inside that candle, and it's red, and it's inside the top end of that range. So that's how I've been able to define it kind of mathematically. And this is where the difference between, you know, let's say old school technical analysis and more quantitative analysis comes, is I have to build rules around it. Otherwise, those rules can't be rigorously tested in that way. So that's how I've done it. And you could do that for, I think, intraday trading by saying, I want yesterday to be a really big, strong candle, and then today to be an inside candle, and then in the top end of that range, and then maybe the following day is a continuation. So, you know, it's a hack to do it. There's a lot of ways, you know, Bollinger Bands, like you talked about, volatility contraction, a lot of ways to do this. I found this the most simple. And like with most things, I find the simpler it is, the probably more correct it is.
Sounds good. All right, Michael Noss, thanks for coming on. And I hope it is a strong momentum week and we get a nice Santa Claus rally into the end of the week. Thanks for coming on. Hopefully we'll see you Friday. Are we seeing you Friday?
See you Friday, and everyone have a Merry Christmas out there.
Merry Christmas, Michael.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, Michael. And you know,
I bet it's snowing. Is Michael still there? What's the weather like? What's the weather like if Michael's still there? We can throw him back. Throw him back out. I want to talk to Michael if he can. Hey, Michael, how's it going there?
A little bit of snow. We don't have any on the ground, but it's flurrying out there just a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to bring you on so I can personally, you know, thank you for all your contributions this year, of course. And I know that you are a big fan favorite, and thanks for adding a lot of color to the charts and teaching us, you know, everything that you have. And we look forward to, you know, a continued relationship with you. And not only, people might not know, but, you know, not only are you a good friend of the show, but, you know, you're a personal friend of many of us around here. So we want to thank you for that continued support, and, you know, best wishes and happy holidays to you and yours.
And yeah, same to you guys. I love, this is one of the highlights of my week. I love coming on and chatting with you guys, and I'm a viewer when I'm not on, so you usually occupy a corner of my screen. I'm watching you guys, and yeah, it's always super fun, and I'm glad that I have a platform to share all the random knowledge I've stuffed into my head over the years. So I appreciate you guys having me.
And we appreciate that for sure as well. All that random knowledge. It's not random. It is from hard work.
It's stuck somewhere. You got to pull it out. You got to pull it out.
Crypto stuff is pretty random, brother.
Around.
No, but you know, happy holidays and of course Merry Christmas to you, to your family, you and your family. Enjoy it. And some people around here don't want snow for Christmas, but I know I do. Out east, hopefully you don't get like the crazy snowstorms out there. But
yeah, I have a very long driveway, so I want just enough for everything to turn white, and then if it stop after that, I'd be great. So I don't have to shovel. That'd be fantastic.
Perfect.
Fair enough.
Like
Our good friend Michael Moss.
Thank you, Michael. Take care.
Christmas.
Yeah, I always have to take
guys.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thanks, Michael. I always have to take a moment to thank him. I mean, what a great guy, what a great friend of ours as well. But yeah, I mean, trading momentum. I mean, what he was talking about there. We've talked about things that have been breaking out recently. I mean, we've got Tesla on the move there. We've talked about some of the silver plays, the crypto names. I mean, Michael's done a good job this year bringing us some random coins. We don't need to go over them, but you know, plays that have momentum behind them. And I think that heading into what we're going to have the Santa Claus rally, which is a few days after Christmas and then into the new year as well. It's like 9 or so trading days. That should rally. Last year it did not, but maybe this year it will. We're still waiting for a new Fed chair to be announced as well. That could be another rally spot.
The thing about this Santa Claus rally is like the whole statistical thing is that it's about 1.3% over that time.
Right. Okay.
I mean, like we've gotten used to volatility where a day that moves is closer to 2. And I think we've been spoiled by that
nowadays,
a little bit.
Yeah.
So like nowadays, that's what it's been like. So you could have a Santa Claus rally that doesn't feel like anything because of we're used to, we're accustomed to seeing bigger moves. And if we end up over the course of a couple of days, or effectively like a week of trading, 1.5 or 2%, technically that's a Santa Claus rally, and it'll feel like nothing had happened. So just you gotta temper some expectations out there. It's not like some gigantic, crazy market moving event, like, oh my goodness, we're gonna move 5 or 6% over the course of those 5 or 6 trading days. No, it's a very small average. Some days, some years it'll be big, other years it'll be absolutely nothing. But stick to what is moving. The individual names have been the way to go. Like we said, gold and silver, crypto is gonna be in play. The recovery of this AI trade is something that you gotta pay attention to. Like Oracle finally making a bottom on TikTok news. The memory names like Micron finding some strength here. Like, am I surprised that SanDisk is up? Yeah, I think that one's getting very frothy, but it's still at $247 and up 4% today. It's not back at its all-time high, but it's certainly trying to make a move. So yeah, we're definitely in a bullish move. Sometimes that means you got to be patient, wait to buy some of those dips. Oh, and you can get some information on what might be in play due to what analysts have to say.
Oh, perfect.
And that'll be some upgrades and downgrades.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, let's get right into it and see what we got on today's list. We're going to start off with upgrades today, and then we're going to end with the downgrades. So at the top of the list, we have AIG, guys, by Piper Sandler, getting that price target raised from $88 to $95. Relatively flat here this morning. And then we also have Fox as well, too, guys, getting the nod. Price target raised from $75 to $85 by Guggenheim, and that is going to be up 1.1% here in the pre-market. Fox A is that ticker. And then we have HIG, guys, Piper Sandler, once again giving them the nod. Price target being raised from $152 to $161. And then we have Illumina by Canaccord Genuity, guys. We're also getting that price target raised from $112 to $130. Slightly positive this morning. Now, as for some of the downgrades, these are going to be lowering targets, guys. Eyes, lips, and face. Elf Beauty getting a price target lowered from $100 to $85 by Piper Sandler. And then we have Lamb Weston by B of A lowering that price target from $66 to $53. Now, also Quantum Sci, it's going to be a small cap, guys. $2 was that initial target, but that is getting lowered to $1.50 by Canaccord Genuity. And then we have Quantum Computing getting that downgrade as well, too, guys. $40 to $25. That's a substantial cut. You're slightly positive here this morning.
Yuck, QUBT with the downgrade. But ELF, ooh. The elf on the shelf is having fun at our house, certainly, because, you know, that's what they do. But ELF stock hasn't been having a lot of fun recently. Good news, has made a low, sort of, since earnings. Bad news, hasn't done anything with that bounce whatsoever, unfortunately. So, yeah, ELF, like, you know, it's giving you a breakout level. We're just not doing anything with it. And it'll be like 84, what is that, 84 and a half. So call it like 85. But it's all kinds of sideways action for them. Unfortunately, it's been a bad, I mean, I was going to say it's been a bad year, but it's been a bad last 2 years for ELF, really, very distinct, and hasn't been able to get out of its way. But this is one at least like you said, like you've made a double bottom after earnings, which is usually a pretty good sign, like whenever you do that, and then you make the higher low. I typically favor breakouts after this. It's done the vaunted death cross, which sometimes can make a breakout a little bit better because there's some short-term shorts that are probably in here. But wait for 85. This might be like a next year kind of play. But yeah, been really, really rough for ELF. Fantastic movie. But
that's hilarious. We watched that movie last night, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, we actually watched it. Marissa was like, we're going to watch a movie, and we sat there and had dinner and watched ELF. So, yeah, wild. Yeah, this
Bob
is a
Newhart.
Yeah, very, very, yeah, Bob Newhart's great. It's from 2003, believe it or not. That's how old that movie is now, 22, 23 years old right there. AIG is an interesting call there. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this stock, but huge move right there. Obviously, it must have been an earnings play or something back on December the 10th, but AIG in the insurance space, good call there. Good call out by Joe on the upgrade. So we'll see if this wants to break out. I mean, there's $88, and I have a little bit of a longer chart here if you're going to go over to, that's a daily, just here's a weekly chart for American International Group. And you can see here, even just going on the weekly chart, this is a 2025 break, and it looks like we're going to get even more here. I don't think we're near all-time highs. No. Oh, that's a split, so maybe. But anyways, AIG had some problems. I'm not talking about all-time highs. This is from the banking crisis there, the great financial crisis. Just huge move down as they were way too levered, obviously. We know the AIG story, but yeah, it looks like it's finally now starting to get going, which is nice to see, breaking through the 2025 high of $88 incoming for AIG. So have a check there and check out some of your insurance plays there. Look at Berkshire or whatever if you want to get a little bit of love in that sector. But yeah, AIG right now popping off on the upgrades. How we don't often look at insurance names, but there it goes with what's it called? American International Group. So there it goes, AIG. Thanks, Joe, for all of those upgrades and downgrades. But yeah, all right, man. Bitcoin underneath 90,000 now. We'll be talking about that a little bit as we go. And now a half hour or so until the market opens. Let's throw it back to the desk. Go ahead.
Before we throw back, SIDU, just for anybody, I saw a few people in the chat mentioning City of Space. They're one of the contract awardees under Missile Defense Agency, Scalable Homeland. Seriously, that's okay, whatever. That's a really long-winded thing. It's just literally what it says. Missile Defense Agency, Scalable Homeland Initiative, Enterprise Layered Defense. Okay, so SIDU gets a contract through that, or one of the appointees through this, up 56%. Sidious this is not one that we, I mean, well, you know, whatever. Every now and then they get a contract, but it's not a gigantic float. Only an 8% short float, so it's not something crazy shorted. However, we have seen this one on the move before, and most of the time, as you can kind of plainly see, it's I guess a gift and a half to the shorts. Because whenever it does make any kind of a bounce, there are a lot of fades. A lot of the times when it makes, if you look at it here, like there's a one-day bit of a reversal. Sometimes it makes a higher low if it goes parabolic, but the biggest days tend to revert after like minimum a few days or maybe like a week or so. So Sidious in play, 35 million in volume, pretty good, up over 50%. Lots of small cappers will be in play, and I know that'll put a smile on Tree's face.
Was running last week as well, Neil. So second day play or third day play, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. A lot of autonomous vehicle news in focus today. So let's get right to what happened on the weekend. Ramin, if you can show my screen, please. This is an intersection in San Francisco during the blackout. So you can see in the middle there is the Waymo car that's blocking the intersection. And then behind it is another army of Waymo cars. And basically they're in panic mode here because they're trained to use basically a down traffic light as a four-way stop, but because there was just so many, it overwhelmed the system, so there was chaos. Elon Musk taking the opportunity to say the Tesla robotaxi service that operates on a limited basis in the San Francisco Bay Area was unaffected, as they use a camera-only system tied to the neural network. So he wanted to make that very clear that his system was unaffected. We'll have to see how it deals during other outages. But I want to also mention this one, Honeywell, because this was negative here to start the morning. On the back of this headline coming in this morning, that Honeywell has to actually drop a little bit. Just give me the opportunity. They warned that their Q4 results are going to be pressured by costs tied to an ongoing legal dispute with the private jet operator FlexJet, which we were trading last week as well. They said they expect a one-time charge that will reduce their quarterly earnings, Adara, by about $310 million, bringing their operating income down to about $370. So this was a lot worse to start the morning here, bouncing back off that 192 support.
I think always with stuff like Honeywell, it is worth noting not a ton of volume today, and it generally doesn't do a ton of volume intraday, but I think it's certainly worth noting here this guidance cut going forward. So yeah, 2025 outlook being hit, and again, also Q4 charges. So probably not a great look for that Q4 2025 report for HON. Again, their total sales guidance now is going to be $37.5 billion to $37.7 billion. EPS outlook for the year now $9.70 to $9.80.
All right, guys. Settlement discussions between Honeywell and FlexJet, as well as other parties, reports the company remain ongoing. No final resolution yet, but down 0.8 to start the morning.
Yuckity yuck. For Honeywell. They're not flying. You want the, like, no, I feel like this is another one of those, it's very kind of obvious to me where it will look a little bit better. Like every single, come to the chart for a second. You get dumped in July, then you put a very distinct rejection in October, and if we join these two things together, hey, looky, we got hooky. Then you're still holding underneath an obvious trend line. Now, some people would throw like an anchor, you probably throw like anchored VWAP, that'll give you some ideas. But when you're downward trending in a what? Bull market, then penalty box. You get thrown. Let's see, where DK Metcalf is going is where stocks like this are already in. And like I said, if you're in an upward trending and bull market and something is in a very distinct downward trend, I'm not usually thinking about where the bottom is on a stock or what catalyst is going to turn it. You're just like, no, actually break the downtrend. And otherwise, allow what's happening to happen. And there's plenty of solid companies, let's just say, or businesses that that can run into this issue. Just because you're a going concern and just because you're a business that generates cash or makes money does not necessarily mean that you satisfy the market's need for growth and are in favor when we're in a bull market. And I think it's a clear case of what will be happening here with Honeywell. But if it can break the trend, yeah, sure, maybe it gets a little bit more interesting than that. I know we're going to talk stocks for a second. What I don't understand is the DK Metcalf thing. I don't know if you saw the clip.
Yeah, I saw, but you seem to be a little bit obsessed with it. What exactly
what doesn't make sense to me is how if you breathe on a quarterback, it's a penalty. If you take a swing at another player, you're ejected from the game.
Right.
If there are multiple camera angles of a dude actually having a physical, again, I don't understand. I don't know what the guy said to him, but if you actually have a physical altercation with a fan, how are you not ejected from the game?
I mean,
everybody knew it happened. No, I mean, it was all over the broadcast. You can't tell me the league didn't know it had happened by the time. And dude just played the rest of the game like nothing happened. If it happened in the NBA, you'd be Tekken gone for sure. If it happened in MLB, you'd be thrown out of the game by the umpire. 100% that would be the case. Why it didn't happen to DK is what I just don't understand it. Oh, you guys have it.
Oh, did they have it or?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, she's got it. Okay.
Yeah, he brings him in, and then he takes a swing at him. Now, I don't think he connected.
Is that my screen? What is she doing? Oh, no. Are we allowed to show something from TSN? I don't know if we are or not.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay. Oh, this is it right here, but I don't really know. exactly what it was happening there. Anyways, we'll try to find something that maybe is not as copyrighted. But no, I think if that's the case, that they were showing it on air and it was a thing, then yeah, the NFL probably should have got involved. But the thing is, I guess it's such an important game there for Pittsburgh last night that I'm wondering if they didn't want it to play out like he didn't really do anything, and then they missed a big player. I don't know, but
I don't know. It's a weird one to me.
What? Oh, is he trying to rip? Oh, it's hard to see. Is he trying to rip off? I don't know what he's trying to do.
He's bringing him in. No, that's a swing, man.
It looks like a swing there. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a problem for him.
The entire second half,
everybody. If I was that guy, I might have fell down there. I might have got knocked out there. You know what I'm saying? If I was that guy, you know, that might have been a nice little payday over there. Some Jake Paul action over there.
You know that.
But the problem is, DK Metcalf is one of the most jacked dudes. Like for a receiver,
I would not.
Like, I mean, that guy is like
mess with that dude.
But yeah, that's probably a definite.
You know, he said something that
I would say that's a lawsuit right there.
But at the same time, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'd be flopping like LeBron. Yeah, you're right about that one, Jay Bronson. I would have flipped over I would have like completely fell right on top of the guy and made like a big thing. I probably would not have. I would have not done any of that.
I wouldn't want to fall over this.
I would have been like, yeah, you right, DK, you right. Whatever happens.
Dude, I don't know if I said this. In the World Series, there was I think it was Game 6. Like a guy jumped.
Ran on the
field.
Yeah.
What most people don't realize, the dude jumped from the outfield bleachers, and he
the fact that he survived
up his leg.
How is he running?
Oh, bro, he was limping at first.
He was limping.
Because they don't show it on the broadcast.
No,
dude was usually like they're running past
yeah.
This dude was like limping, and my roommate from university
like 20 feet or something.
Was in the same section. So he goes, yeah, the guy jumped, and you knew he broke his neck. Like he knew he was messed up. That's a big ass jump. So A, you're going to jail. B, you're never allowed back in the stadium, and then C, you done messed up your ankle.
Yeah.
And also he could pull out a flag, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We got to talk about it for the rest of his life. The DK Metcalf thing probably blown out of proportion, but the guy's going to get fined. I mean, you know, whatever. The guy's a couple $100 million probably somewhere hiding somewhere, so he'll be fine. But yeah, not good, man. When players attack, never a good thing.
I don't care what they say.
Remember that brawl in Detroit there? That was crazy times back 20 years ago or whatever that was. The melee at what do they call that? Melee at somewhere, not at Madison, but it was in Detroit there. So. Anyways, all right, let's go back over to the desk. We're going to start running through our rundown now. We have a great watch list today. Lots of big names on it. Half hour till market open. Market at highs as we speak about the NFL.
68.87, guys. That's where we closed out on Friday on the ES March contract. We're on that new contract having expired, the December one on Friday. Look at this. We're already taking out 6,900 to start, and as Sean mentioned, we are trading at the high. So 6,900, if we maintain this level, will be our first area of support. If we sell off for whatever reason, we're looking at that 68.75 area as support level number 2. If we start trending up here, we already have a 69.20 morning high. We're going to look to that 50-point area, the area we were rejecting earlier this month, December 2nd, December 3rd. We couldn't really clear 69.50. That's going to be resistance level 1, guys, for the ES March contract. All right, guys, make sure to get the morning note or the morning watch list every day. Adair prepares it, and we all use it, and there is no good morning routine without a good watch list. It helps you organize your day, lets you know what's running, and you can prioritize your trades accordingly. All right, let's look at the first ticker here on the morning rundown. Tesla moving up nicely as it closes in, again on all-time highs, having made all-time highs last week with another bullish catalyst on Friday. The Delaware Supreme Court overturned the lower court ruling and restored, Elon Musk's 2018 pay package, compensation package. The court said the full rescission of the deal was improper and unfair, noting Musk went uncompensated for about 6 years despite hitting his performance milestones. Adara, what more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, I think a fair look there, I guess, from this court. We basically have, again, this 2018 pay package, just to kind of back it up here, valued at $56 billion. It's now worth roughly $139 billion based on Tesla's current share price. And again, we also had the shareholders recently approving a new nearly $1 trillion pay package over 10 years for Elon Musk. So this is quite the boon here for Elon Musk. And again, guys, it's actually worth noting if Tesla did not win this appeal, they actually could have been forced to record a roughly $26 billion hit to profits over 2 years to replace that compensation. So not a bad look for TSLA. We'll have to see how shareholders respond to this. But again, a lot of these shareholders of Tesla are pro-Musk, so likely a good look.
All right, guys, they have now incorporated in Texas, as we know. The new law will require a 3% minimum ownership stake before you can bring a parallel suit similar to the one that we saw in Delaware, which resulted in the termination of his compensation package. So adding that little tidbit in there, guys. Tesla up 1 1/3.
This has usually been a good omen for them. I love that chart in the back, the Nasdaq. You guys can see what the strength of the market looks like right there in that big screen. Excellent utilization of the screen there. Appreciate you, Fabian, for getting that up. Looks fantastic. Oh, we just got a coffee reload?
Yes, thank you, Randy.
Well, speaking of reloads, Tesla is reloading for this 490 break. On Friday in the note, like ultimately you only take one thing at 9:30 up for like a breakout trade, and I think Palantir looked better. But the note was a false break at 490 because of the 3-day resistance it was going into. Now it's 4 days of resistance at 490. Once stopping, then rejecting heavily on 17th. I think that was last Wednesday. Thursday, it rejected 490. Friday, it was just a clean, well, I mean, it wasn't a clean break, but it was a clean rejection of that same price. At some point, we're going to break out here. I've simply said if we get a close, if we can get a close above 490 on a 15-minute chart and not a complete like rejection candle like this, like I actually think if we do this again, I want to be long. Right? Like breaking 490, have some kind of a green closing candle above, and then look for the long on Tesla. So willing to be patient for this to actually set itself up for the break, because otherwise, I think you're waiting for those, that mid to high 470s where the support has first been when we reject the 490 break. So big time key level. It couldn't do it on Friday, but I mean, Friday, it can be difficult for you to chop through, to get through some big chop levels like that. So I think much better chance this week, and I'm not looking short like we did on Friday.
Yeah, I have Tesla written down here on the note today, 482 to 483. I was just thinking here, we're focused on those levels of catalyst. We were in this area Friday. Now it's ticking higher. We have Musk compensation news and renewed AI momentum. I mean, the market's up higher here. We got Nvidia going higher. We've got some good AI talk. We've got Waymo. We've got issues with them. We'll have to figure out if Tesla wants to go today or not. But I'm just looking at this level from Friday right into here. 482 to 483. So we just gathered in this area before eventually taking off near the end, which is right at the end of the day. That's 4 o'clock. There's a 5-minute chart. So we didn't actually get going until the very end, but we were battling with it all afternoon and obviously on a little bit of a light volume. Then we had the witching and everything like that happening on Friday. So I would say into this 483 area, if we dip back down in, that's your 200 period moving average. It's your 50 period. I kind of like that play, and that's where we closed on Friday. So I would say into this area, there's the bump up there on the imbalance, and then it came back in. So yeah, I would say this is my area to go long on Tesla today. I like all the stories. I think the stock can go. It's up 1.3%. Whether or not we get to 500 today, there might not be enough juice to do that. But if it does, I think it might be a fade the first time it gets to 500. Let's see how it gets there. And if there is any intraday news or something, I don't really expect anything. But yeah, Tesla's got to be looked at today, man. It's doing over 1 million shares already, up 1.4%. Has been a great trade this last week. So I'm on Tesla today long in the mid 480s, basically. I said started at 483, and let's see what winds up happening. So we'll watch it. We'll see if it bounces around there, and hopefully if it does, we can get long on Tesla down there, low 480s. So that's going to be my play there. And then I wanted to come in. I was away. We were at hockey off Friday, and then we had 2 games this weekend. I didn't have a chance to check what Rivian was doing, but I was like, anything around this $20, and I should have added it to the chat, to the note, but I don't think we're going to come down 10%, but I do like something to be supported down here near $20 on Rivian, but it's a nice break, and that happened on Friday. I mean, that was probably a crazy trade there, breaking through 20. And then, we are running into 24 to 26, so, some levels there to look out for on Rivian, but yeah, definitely looking like a healthy move higher here on RIVN. So, the space seems to be pretty healthy right now. I know we're not talking about cars, but These two car names seem to be going a little bit higher, whether or not it's on AI, FSD. We did see that Rivian did have that call last week as well for their autonomy, and they gave a little bit of a hint at maybe half the price of FSD and things like that. So we'll wait to see if Rivian can get that R2 out, and then that should spark some more interest in this name if it hasn't already. Rivian, man, was just $12 back in October, now $23 incoming there. So let's get ready for some Rivian and for some Tesla today.
All right, guys, Nvidia told their Chinese customers it is aiming to begin shipping its second most powerful chip, of course, the H200, to China before the new Lunar New Year in mid-February. Initial deliveries, guys, expected to total between 5,000 and 10,000 chip modules, which is about, 40,000 to 80,000 H200s as they are clustered. Nvidia also flagged plans to add new production capacities in Q2 of 26, as they haven't been making this chip in large numbers since 23. This is a 2023 design chip. Shipments, though, remain contingent on the Chinese government approval, which has not yet been granted. President Trump allowing the H200 to be shipped to China with a 25% fee. What more can you tell us about this shipment, Adara?
I think also with this China-U.S., where it's always important to note the context of whether China even wants or feels like they need these chips now, right? We did have the U.S. blocking these shipments for quite some time, China trying to find their own ways to get their own companies to make comparable products. Now, it's also worth noting as well that these H200 chips are not the most recent NVIDIA chip. They're part of the Hopper generation. They are still used, but Blackwell and now the upcoming Rubin chips are, of course, going to outperform what we have here with that H200. And because NVIDIA has generally prioritize production of Blackwell, the newer chip, it's also a little bit harder to find production for the H200, though as mentioned here by Sharif, they are going to be adding new production capacity, so that issue could be having a workaround.
And one thing that we've been talking about, guys, was the Chinese push to have their own domestic manufacturers start producing these chips. Huawei, Ascend being here, discussed as one. But they've taken a bit of a different approach, guys. They've discussed these bundling requirements, which is potentially forcing each H200 purchase to also include a ratio of purchased domestic chips. So if you're going to buy, let's just say for example, 10 H200s, you got to buy 5 Huawei Ascends. A nice middle ground here by the Chinese regulator.
I mean, really, it's just about them getting back in at the end of the day for NVIDIA, because like the last couple of earnings reports, it's just like you had nothing from China and you've still been blowing it out. So it's hard to, you can't really frame this, whatever the concessions might be. Like you can't frame it as negative in any way for NVIDIA. You can say whatever you want about the political issues and security and whether China wants to do this, whether the US wants these chips over there. Just take that all away, and this is a tremendous opportunity for NVIDIA. You know, it gave you a dip. It seems like we've now made a nice rounded bottom, like that 170 from last week. That's looking pretty good because you went higher low on Friday, and now you've broken out. So there's your 170 liquidity grab, let's just call it, because you didn't spend any time, real time down there. And immediately, multiple higher lows was a breakout on Friday. That top of 181, like that's like the Alamo for me today, but I like the 183 as well. So this prior high with rounded bottom, so 83 first, but then 181 becomes the Alamo. It's effectively, I mean, essentially we close right there. Like 180.99 was the Friday close. I think that's the spot. If we lose 181, you go red, I think you want to give it up. But NVIDIA, it's been a choppy and a downward press, but looks like it's made a 170 bottom. Next stop 190 at some point this week, it looks like to me.
Yeah, 190. Yeah, you could maybe even get there today if it kind of tries to drift a little bit and then gets going at some point. But yeah, for me, the only spot to potentially buy this would be in and around here, 181. I mean, yesterday's close, 183 is your 200 period. I can see that acting as a level there, but that would only be $1 down from here. So we've seen the market create a downside push. So we'll have to wait to see if 183 winds up holding, but that's a good spot right there. On my watch today in this space is going to be Micron, and I have this listed here. I can put this in the chat again if you guys want to go read my notes or just see what I'm doing here, but there it is, copy and paste it in. That's going to be your sticky note. So this is what I'm looking at here today. Micron long around 273. The RAM demand and pricing apparently is just through the roof right now. Looking to bid this pre-market, which it's right now. It did catch a bid. It's up 4%, and that's kind of what we're referring to there. But let's see if we can either play the breakthrough or this dip into 273. So right now the pre-market high is 277. Like we've seen Micron just create just some crazy opportunities like this, like what was going on Friday. I mean, this name just blasted up there at $16 within the first 15 minutes there, and then we also had a nice move higher before fading out. There's been a lot of action in and around opens and closes for this stock, and then you kind of just drift one way. Well, not just drifting, again higher. So for me, it's pretty easy. I wrote down 273. I mean, there's the 200 period moving average. This is where we're looking to get long. So if it can come into 273, boom, we'll try to look there first. And if the market really gets going, I think you're going to be sad to miss this 277 break. The only thing is like, does that break, and like to go up $2 or $3, it's a $275 name. I mean, to get 1% or 2% on this name is easy from here. We could be up 5 or 6%, right? You're going to look back and say that 277 was nice. But is it really going to be up 4 or 5% right off the open here? There really, other than the demand story, and we had great earnings last week, there's not an upgrade or anything that I saw or anything like that today. Maybe there is, but I'm looking at Micron breaking through this 277. So let's just see if that happens. I don't know if I want to take it immediately, but if we can base out and then maybe a few minutes in, then take it, then I really like that, man. We could use view up as our out as well. So I like Micron going higher here into the open. So, AMD underneath 220 is always something pretty interesting, but look at that bump up. What just happened right there? So we just went from 218 up to 219.50 there in just a heartbeat. Did something happen with the whole space there or no? So it looks like, okay, AMD for some reason just jumped up about $1 there as I was just about to talk about it. So I think this name underneath 220 is something to short. So we'll wait to see for advanced micro devices. I don't want to be short anything to start the day. I don't have any shorts written down. I have the Qs long, I have Tesla long, I have Micron long, and I have IBIT long. I don't have any shorts right now. I don't think it's worth fighting a strong market when there might not be too much volume coming through. So you can see right now, AMD just got bumped. Now AMD's running through 220.
Must be something.
So there we go, man. Yeah, I am all about that Micron Machiavelli right now. I mean, the momentum is there. We talked to Michael Noss about momentum earlier. So yeah, let's go long on Micron.
China calls for companies to resume global chip and supply chains. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, I mean, that could only help, I would think, right? Marvell also up here. Thank you for Commodity Kings. This is one of my favorite names there.
You just said something about Alibaba.
Yeah, I just heard Alibaba in there too, but it's still not moving anywhere. So I got out of some Alibaba last week. The ones I bought at 160, I got out at 160, so paid a little bit of fees there, but I still like Alibaba. I think that could do something. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a deal between AMD and Alibaba. It might be something to do with like what Sharif was saying there, where you buy a certain amount of chips from one company, you got to sort of put your hand into the other one. So Huawei and Alibaba, some of these strong Chinese competitors in the GPU space, there's probably going to be some news coming out from those guys pretty soon if these kind of deals are what's being struck. That is for sure. All right, let's go back over the desk and figure out what's going on with Baidu/Uber/Lyft.
Yeah, we see the move on AMD, guys. We'll keep you apprised of that in a breakout here in the pre-market on AMD. But let's talk about Baidu, as well as their tie-up with Uber and Lyft. The Chinese tech giant Baidu, of course, plans to launch its Apollo Go robotaxi in London starting next year. It's going to partner with the likes of Uber and Lyft to distribute the rides through their platforms. Baidu says their Apollo Go system is already operating across 22 cities, and they have more than 250,000 weekly active trips. Lyft, for their part, they're going to begin testing Baidu's initial fleet of dozens of vehicles next year. They didn't give a specific time, but Uber did. They said we're going to launch in the first half of 2026 as they look to outdo their competitor. The partnerships are going to allow participation in robotaxis without bearing the full hardware and the autonomous development costs, Adair. And they also have a willing party here in the UK regulator.
And that's because the UK government actually did announce back in June of this year they're going to have some plans to fast-track these autonomous vehicle adoptions. They're aiming to permit small-scale robotaxi pilots starting in spring 2026. So this very much aligns with at least the timeline that Uber gave. There's also this Vision Zero initiative coming out of London, which targets zero serious traffic injuries or deaths by 2041. And that's also, I guess, I can get the case for the autonomous vehicle development. It's pretty interesting, though, Sharif, the fact that these competitors, Uber and Lyft, are both working with Baidu on this.
Absolutely. Well said, Adair. And Neil, unconfirmed reports that AMD did win a deal from Alibaba that is coming in here from Benzinga, saying shares of AMD are spiking higher as traders circulate unconfirmed rumors that the company has won a deal from Alibaba. No more information other than that. We'll get back to you when I do have.
As you can see, like AMD, for anyone watching, it is still at the highs. Up now 3% at $220 here, so looking very, very strong. On the other hand, mentioned like Uber's got all the deals. I mean, Uber's up 2%, so I shouldn't say it's not strong. On the other hand, the wrong way to frame it. But ultimately, Uber's got all the right things going for them in terms of the ability to easily implement any autonomous strategy because they're embedded everywhere. So if they make a deal and they partner, you've already got that base, and it allows some security for anyone trying to start up in a new region, or hey, you want to get the service here. Well, Uber's already got the infrastructure for you. They've already got the ridership, and I think it makes for an easy transition. Now, unfortunately, the stock hasn't really been benefiting from much of any of this until hopefully now, because you'd like to think that this recent dip under 80 might have been it. I think 82 is the bigger level here on Uber that it needs to get above. Has a decent chance to do that today. Like, I want to say it's trying to make a rounded bottom. Like, this is like 82. I think getting above 82, or actually better yet, even 82 and a half, looks like it's going to be the good spot there for Uber. But it has been languishing a bit, let's be real. But you got a liquidity grab on a few stocks last week in the last couple of days, Thursday and Friday. And if we never get back beneath that 80, I think an 82.50 break, maybe not today, maybe that's something we can look at for next week or later on in the week. That could be like a tomorrow thing here for Uber. But AMD suddenly kind of creeps up on the watch for sure on this headline. And I do wonder, I mean, NVIDIA didn't really move, but deal with Alibaba, that'd be good for AMD. I'm going to let this one settle down at the open, though. Don't want to overreact.
Obviously a more pure play into this space here. So I like the LYFT chart actually where it is. I mean, I think I like Uber better. I'm invested into Uber, but for something to potentially get going right here, I mean, they look similar, but this is at a nice spot. I mean, this $18 level has been here since that break in September. So that hold of 19 gives you at least an out if you're wrong. And even if you are wrong in and around here, you don't have to be exactly right at 19. You do have some kind of support down at 17. Not only is that your 200 period moving average, but that was also a passable area of concern to some extent anyways. If you're long here, you're pretty happy with where you're at. And I just wonder that, like, for those traders that are trading LYFT that maybe are holding the bag or similar to Uber, you have to think about, like, where's the pressure point? And you're not there yet. So $17 is potentially where if you break it, you have a problem, but you may never even get back there. So this is good news story. So now we're starting to tick higher here on LYFT. So you may never see this. So I like the long. If it comes back into $19 here today, I think that's worth doing something. And we were just there on Friday. So you take the long, you hold it against whatever those lows are, and you say, let's go robo-taxis and let's go, automation and all that. And hopefully LYFT can be part of that as well. And getting involved in the UK and in Europe is definitely a good sign. So yeah, I like LYFT there, up 1.5%. And I'm already into Uber, so I'm not buying too many more dips, but I like Uber there for sure. But I am a little bit concerned about how it's going to play out for some of these names. So I'm not buying any more shares down there, but I like the setup for LYFT, not necessarily LYFT off by any means. But all right, did you guys watch Avatar in the chat? Let us know if you did. The word ouch is after the name right now. So I don't think it was a great response there. A little under, I think it was 113 or 130 million or whatever, the way of the water, and this one down near 80. So not a great move there for them this weekend. I feel like it was under advertised. Like, I feel like when the first Avatar and second one was coming out, it was like, these were like the biggest thing to look forward to. And this one was just like, oh yeah, it's released this weekend, like, whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're just not spending as much money on the advertising. So that's the other point. Like, although they might have not done that well at the box office, was to spend more? Was it less?
I'm trying to remember when they released the first one though. Like,
it was 20 years ago, I think. They waited for that a long time. Oh,
no, I mean, just like when, like what? This time of year, is this even the right time to have launched?
Christmas, I think, is fine.
Maybe.
I mean, it's really Christmas or summertime movies.
I'm just disappointed.
So I think it's because it was the kids. I don't know. But anyways, we'll find out what's going on with. We might need a new mic over here, apparently, ladies and gentlemen. Let's throw it back to the guys.
Avatar, Fire and Ash.
again.
It opened up with $88 million in revenue generated domestically. That is well below the expectations of 110 to 125 for the 3-day debut. The opening trailed, of course, at 2022, The Way of Water, which posted a markedly higher $134 million over the same period. Roughly 5.2 million Americans attended the opening weekend, which is a sharp drop from the 8.7 for the prior Avatar installment. International markets did a bit better. It typically does with this movie, bringing in about $257 million, with the global opening totaling $345 million, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting look here for DIS with regards to Avatar, especially locally. But as I mentioned, AMC definitely got a win with this. They were saying that Avatar, with some other movies, actually delivered one of their best winter weekends here in this period from Thursday to Sunday at this time since 2021. So good look there for AMC, if not for DIS. But yeah, I mean, again, it's worth noting here, as Sharif mentioned earlier, over 3-hour runtime. There's also apparently less technological novelty in this movie versus the previous movies. And again, I was reading as well that the script with this was literally split from the second movie. So content was not super creative either way. Long story short, DIS getting a bit of a box office miss with this one.
All right, guys, just to put it in context, the original Avatar movie brought in $2.7 billion globally. And then The Way of Water, which remained in theaters for 23 weeks, brought in $2.3 billion.
So, I mean, obviously there's a lot to live up to here. And for all the disappointment talk, Disney's flat on the day. Again, like the market's up slightly. I mean, the market's up 0.8%, Disney's up 0.2%. It's not disaster, it's not great, but it does mean that Disney is maybe not the thing. If you were looking for a bounce because of this release and wanted to trade it because of that, then I don't think this is what you wanted. You know, you're not thinking about that at all. At least I'm not thinking about it. But I will pivot to something I am, and it's somewhat related, because Disney has cruises. They absolutely do. And Carnival has cruises. I mean, that's literally in their name. And they broke out on Friday. So I'm looking for some continuation on Carnival. They reported on Friday. Of course, I think they dropped the report at like 9:20 or something ridiculous like that. It was like 10 minutes before the open, maybe even less. But it was still a good time, good breakout through 29. I'm looking at this 30 to 30 and a half area. I put in my note 30, 40 to 30, 60 is where I'm looking dip and then continuation on Carnival. So I'd much rather play a day 2 earnings play than a day 1 market doesn't seem to care much about this Avatar story. It's almost like it doesn't seem bad enough to short Disney. It certainly doesn't seem good enough to go long. So gonna look somewhere else. Day 2, I want to play that Carnival Cruise Lines.
There you go. I could see Disney going well today, getting hit today because it just wasn't that well received, right? I mean, I don't know if they heard about that earlier. You can check the chart on Friday. I mean, it really dropped off quite nicely there. I don't know if that was, pre-thinking that this was going to happen or whatever, but Disney's kind of been getting hit for a minute, man. It was 113, 114 almost on Friday, down to 111. That's down 3%. So it's kind of getting hit now. And I don't know exactly what this means for the company. It's one movie. It didn't go over that well. The streaming, they're worried about, they're going to put this thing out. If it's not going to do that well in theaters, they'll just put it out to the streaming and then hopefully, with some of their promos, catch some good waves and maybe get some more streamed views on that. And then, you might be hearing more about Avatar down the road. Like it could spark, people will watch it at home. I think that right now it's maybe not getting as much love because the theater kind of game is dying a bit. So I would say Avatar still does have a chance to do something there. It was 10 years or something people were talking about in between movies, and that was just not the greatest opportunity there between 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3 apparently is not the greatest, although Fabian watched it and said he enjoyed it. So, there's to each their own. I think it's probably a great movie. I just don't know if it lived up to all the hype, but you have to kind of like that stuff. Palantir. So basically, we're going to go back over to the desk in a second. I just want to show you guys the imbalances are now out. So if we have a quick little look here, SMCI with a decent sell. There isn't a whole bunch of action on this. So there's SMCI ticking down about 50 cents. We get American Bitcoin Corporation, which is ABTC there. This is the Trump-backed or run, I guess, Bitcoin operation there. And then Nvidia was the other one that gave me a little bit of interest there with a quick sell down 30 or 40 cents there. Uber, we just talked about it. That's coming with a buy. But there isn't really SMR down to 16 bucks. There's not much happening with all of that. So we're going to wait on any of these plays early. Let's go find out about gold and silver with only 2 minutes left.
New all-time highs for both of the precious metals, guys, with gold surging to all-time highs. The futures contract got up to $4,445 an ounce, with the spot price a little bit lower to $44.15, extending that powerful rally that now sees gold up 70% year to date, continues to act as the primary safe haven hedge. But silver, not to be outdone, forward following gold, higher and outperforming, in fact, gold, with the spot prices trading at around 68.96 to 68.98. It's now up 128% year to date, Adara.
Yeah, we know Michael Noss likes to refer to silver as gold's crazy cousin, certainly performing in that way. And it's interesting, too, because we did have that Fed rate cut on December 10th, but we're still seeing people flock here to these things typically viewed as safe havens, right, with the gold and the silver. Investors do potentially appear to be repositioning in a defensive way heading into 2026. It's also worth noting here there are some fiscal deficits in the US, UK, and Europe. And we have Japan and China apparently renewing gold's role as a monetary hedge. So this kind of hedge type play is still certainly going to be on watch here for gold and silver, likely heading into the new year.
All right, guys, how you playing this one?
I'm just going to be looking for some dips here. Silver has been on a rally, but most of the days there's been a dip at the open. So that's what I'm going to play for. Whether we fill the entirety of the gap at 61 or pull it back in about halfway is the way I want to look at it. But if you take out Friday, you had dips pretty much off the open, dip off the open, and some higher lows. Once VWAP gets reestablished, that's another way to go into the long. So I'm not punching any high breaks on silver, but I am looking for that dip like we did last week. And let's ring, it's a holiday shortened week, it's a Christmas week, but let's ring that Monday bell right about now, brought to you by OGEN, OGEN on the NYC. I want to thank them.
All right. All right, so Tesla's gone already. Went up to 490 and is pulling back just a little bit right here off open as the market coming back in just a little bit to start with right here. So there goes Tesla up to 490, back to 488. There goes Nvidia as well. We got to clean up some of those bad wicks that we have on the chart. But there's that Nvidia coming back in. We wrote down, no, we didn't write down anything for Nvidia. We wrote down Micron breaking through 277. That does have, everything happened in the pre-market. So now you're waiting to see what this market actually wants to do. To begin with, IBIT down to 90,000 right now. That's Bitcoin, of course. Micron, nice level there. It goes taking through 277. A little early to be jumping in immediately to this for me, but that's what we're looking at. There goes Tesla again back through 490. It looks like we just wicked the high there of 492. We also just came in and got us long at 487 as well if you wanted that level. So things just kind of bouncing around right here a little bit early. Those are some of the names that we looked at. We also talked about Disney earlier. That's not doing any volume, not even open yet. But Nvidia, Tesla, them all starting to move, and Nvidia is going downside, it looks like right now. This might be one to pick up on a bid.
Silver's not doing much of anything. Bitcoin's not doing much of anything. Nvidia is moving down. There was that headline, and I guess they don't care, on AMD and Alibaba, as AMD down $3 already and really starting to fade in. So it's going to have to be a little bit patient because maybe the rocket ships will be elsewhere today because it's not in the chip land. And I say that because Rocket Labs spiking. Now 8% up, Rocket Labs, they're on the watch list, and I just want to look at ASTS. Astis was also in play up at 4%. It's not moving. So it's mostly Rocket Labs here, but the only thing that's taken off outside of Tesla right now, bye-bye 490.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I guess we're going to have a 15-minute close over 490, right? If it doesn't close the first 15-minute candle over 490, then we got a real problem as Tesla rocket ship to the upside.
Yeah, that's to say the least right here of these guys. All right, we're going to, oh man, okay. So I'm in right now to Micron. So here, go click on Micron a little bit. Let's just wait to see. This was a name, we said we wanted some 273s. We got some 273s right there on Micron. We'll put out for 10% here, just above 274, but we're going to play off that bottom. We were not necessarily expecting this to come in the way it is right now. So maybe a break of 272. We'll just get out of Micron. So we'll go 272, like 271.75 or so for Micron. We're not we're just testing this one out. We don't want to get absolutely destroyed or anything over here, but here it comes right back in. So there it goes, in and out, just like real quick on there on Micron. I wanted to test it, man. We had 273 on our mind. That's kind of where we talked about the 200 period moving average. Potentially a little early to be just jumping right into something. So happy with that, but got to wait for it. The TQs are now coming in. Much rather see something on the market here. So 54.50s. We'll see if we can get that play right into there. We'll drop it if it breaks through 40s or so on the downside. But here comes the market coming in quite nicely right here. So there we go. We are now long on the Qs, and let's see what winds up happening here with the Nasdaq play.
Yeah, and Tesla's still holding. Looks like we might not get a retest of 490 bucks as its only green shoots over here on Tesla.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll continue to have that one up, but if we're not going to be dipping back into either VWAP or 490, it was a huge failed break on Friday at that same price. Didn't think we'd be so clean through. Nvidia's starting to close in the gap. It's at the 183. It's trying to make a bit of a bottom here. Held once. If it can't hold a second time, then I think I don't want to be catching a falling knife. There goes CCL. All right, CCL doesn't want to dip into 30.5. CCL might be trying to break it out. So I want a day 2 play in here. Market headed lower. This one at least holding up on some strength. So if we can't get into Tesla, and I'm being patient on Nvidia, silver actually headed downside. CCL about to close above VWAP, so that'll be shot 1.
Yeah, I just took a shot and lost on that one, so we're gonna have to wait on the futures. We took 2 shots today, so not just 1 shot. We took 2 shots, and yeah, not working out right there. 0 for 2 right now on trying to catch the long. But I mean, look what the market's doing. Like, hello, the Nasdaq just straight to the downside. Thank you everybody for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Need to get those subscribers going. 257. Wow, 25,700. We are really starting to give it up here. It looks like, anyways, in this market. So I'm gonna hold off now.
There's a few names that are really falling.
Yeah, we're just going to write down. We wrote down the TQs 53.75s, so I think it's probably worth waiting around there at this point to see if we can get any love. Amazon's coming in. I'm not hearing anything in my ear, but yeah, the market is fading off a little bit. We had such a good day Friday, and it was a really good start to today, so I could see, you know, some names pulling back just a little bit.
This Amazon move is basically the exact same move it pulled on the imbalances. Here. It sold off right at 229. It's doing the same thing. So on Friday, there was obviously Friday was year-end rebalancing in addition to triple witching, but there were a lot of moves at the close. So watch for some of these potential support levels that got made right at the end of the day on that dump. So that's 227 here on Amazon was a big one. It wasn't the only thing that moved. There was plenty of other things that were moving, but Amazon, that move stands out. Nvidia is trying to hold that 183, so it's doing a pretty decent job, and it's again trying CCL for my day 2 play. It did hold VWAP. Well, VWAP's a little bit early, but it is holding this pre-market low at 31. If we lose 31, I'm going to jump out. Want this breaking that $0.50 though. You got to get up to the $0.50 or it's not going to be looking all that good. Silver, not much happening yet, I want to say, in silver. It has wicked the bottom. Still a chance that we trend back in and we're looking for a deeper dip buy in silver. Don't want to rush into it too early. And for everyone that might be looking at gold instead, I would suggest the miners have been stronger than physical gold, but it's also pulling back. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Outside of the market coming down, Tesla's strong. Rocket Lab is strong. Pretty much that's it. I mean, I don't really see anything else that's going ham. Man, unless it's going down.
Tesla is like really strong, man. I mean, we're really glad. This was one of the more recent names that I bought there. We bought it on that robotic news, and I think that was back here in early December. So we bought some more at 430, 440, something like that. And now Tesla's really starting to get going here. We could see 5 bills today, looks like. Like I was like, well, we'll have to see what happens off the open. We just touched 496. I mean, 500 definitely in view here for Tesla. So watch out for that 500 break, man. I think you want to be part of it. I'm going to put an order in to buy that 500 break right now on Tesla. So 501s. I don't even know how far to cross up, man. I mean, we might get
50 cents.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just.
I think you cross. I don't think.
I put in 50-cent cross.
I think liquidity will be fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. 50 cents. Well, 50 cents should get us in. So let's hope so. If it doesn't, then I don't really want to pay up 50 cents too much more. I mean, if you're using maybe a little bit less shares, then whatever. It's not going to matter. But 50 cents is a lot. But we'll see. On a $500 name, it's not really that much. Look at the futures, man. It's a good thing we got out of that. Like this is a 10-cent hit, like real quick. So we are not going to revenge trade this thing. at all. Like the level that we had written down for the Nasdaq was down here, 53.75. So I'm going to wait for that. And if it comes into the 53.80s, I'm going to buy it. But I'm also going to try. I was thinking about like a VWAP break. If we break back above 50, I'll try it one more time for a little bit of momentum to go forward. Because right now, as we had just mentioned, nothing's really hitting on my screen for anything hitting, key levels for me yet. But there goes Nvidia. That's down to 183. That could maybe be bought around here. We took a one swing and a miss on Micron. So we just went real quick, man. In the first couple minutes, we bought Micron on strength, what we thought was strength, but weakness in the market did not help us out with that play. So that was downside. We could check out, I said, LYFT, potentially with Uber today. So there goes LYFT. So that's a nice move. Breaking through $20. Well, Palantir is always strong. What's that doing?
Not every day. It was strong on Friday. But look, Palantir, it was a clean breakout on Friday. And look at the clean break again today. 200 is going to be in play for sure on Palantir. Ooh, this wasn't even on the on the list, but I mean, 200 is 200. Like, it is what it is. Maybe it'll dip before it gets there, but it's hard not to look at that 200 level for sure. We'll see. Look at it. It's now really going parabolic. Yeah, you know what? No breakout into a parabolic move. Like, if the candle looks that crazy going into an even dollar, usually you want to play the fade instead. But the other crazy name that was off the open was that AMD Alibaba story. There's been no bottom on AMD. AMD is still falling, now down at 215. It's dropped $5. So you know what they say about what happens when you react negatively to positive news. This one's going to be a hard pass. This is why we said it. You know what? Let's let that one calm down off of the open. Stick to maybe Nvidia, which is at least attempting to make a bit of a turn here. Nvidia is getting back to VWAP. AMD's at the low of the day as we speak. Alibaba deal, huh? What a rug.
Yeah, Alibaba's down. Or
no, it's AMD that's down.
Oh, AMD, yeah.
Was that even like that wasn't even like a confirmed
Well, we tried to hear that story. I don't really know what it was there. But
that's the problem. You know what?
There probably was something about it. I'm also going to take, we do have Adara back there. I just heard her call, so we'll get some updates soon. But there goes Palantir. Yeah, I was looking at 200. What's up, Adara? Go ahead.
So, I just want to let you guys know here, this story for AMD, I looked into it. So usually when you hear people circulating unconfirmed rumors, there's really no report to back it up. In this case, there actually was a report from earlier this morning from an outlet that I've never heard of before called MLEX. This report suggests that AMD's China-compliant M1308A accelerator is nearing a rollout, and Alibaba's considering ordering 40,000 to 50,000 chips. So again, this Alibaba AMD report actually does have a report to back it up rather than just completely unsubstantiated rumors, though again, I have never heard of this outlet, and the report was out for at least a couple hours before people on X started catching on.
Okay.
Those are always dicey.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been out for hours, but then all of a sudden you get a big spike in the stock because people are noticing in the pre-market.
Yeah. I think the market also right now, I mean, I don't know if the market wasn't getting hit, and I guess it's getting hit because of some of these tech moves, right? And so, yeah, a little bit of a pullback there. Marvell's down to $86 again. I'm gonna wait. I'll take a 200 break on Palantir if it does come through, but also looking to see if we do pull back into 196, 195. Some of this VWAP area down here, I don't mind that for a little bit of a long, or I'm gonna try the 200 break. I'm also gonna try a breaker on Tesla as well. So we'll see. No, Tesla's nowhere near it now. Tesla's pulling back just a little bit, 93s now for Tesla. So we were just getting upside. Now we're pulling back quite nicely there for Tesla. So we'll wait on that one. It looks like maybe Palantir has a better chance, or the TQQs have a better chance with the Nasdaq of breaking out.
Oh, that FJET halted.
Yeah, someone was just saying FJET.
Yeah, this is the one from Thursday.
Yeah, it was in
halted $10. Tap $10. It's going to be it's a nicey American stock, so we don't really get that same theoretical auction price data, which will tell you where it's going to open up. It pretty much is always going to stay flat, but it is halted to the upside. Certainly worth a watch. On Friday, it wasn't Friday. It was Thursday when the IPO went absolutely ham. And congratulations to everyone that had that IPO. Of course, we were a little bit more excited for Medline. The funny thing is, I keep wanting to say that incorrect. I was saying it wrong on day one, but Medline was the other IPO last week. Biggest IPO, at least notionally of the year, but it was FJET that had the bigger percentage move. CCL's trying to go. It just bounced and took out some of the pre-market highs there, was able to print 30.40s. Once it's printing 30.50, that's the high on Friday, and then looking for a breakout. Once it's broken out, I'm looking to play off the volume weighted average price or back into 31 here on CCL. But the only thing that I'm in, but Bill's camp, first of all, Bill's camp, we got to do better. We should not be winning by 3 points to Shador. But saying XOM is strong. Like the way the energy's been playing. This is Randy loves XOM. That looks like an upward trend to me. Looks pretty good. Higher lows into a flat top break at $121 on XOM. Like, look at that 121 level. It's not going to get there today, but it's hard to ignore that this has been in a very clean upward trend. So I like CVX a little bit better, but distinction without a difference. Maybe not a day trade, but XOM starting to look really strong.
Yeah, we had some more Venezuela problems over the weekend there with some tankers and whatnot. Yeah, what about that? All right, so we can look at oil in a minute as well, but maybe Occidental, something like that. But yeah, good play there with CVX and XOM for the dividend and for whatnot. Netflix, no dividend here, but they're down 1%. So there goes Netflix on again, a renewed bid apparently with Warner Brothers and Paramount. Warner Brothers now getting approached by Paramount with that $30 offer again, more funding potentially secured. So I don't know what's going on PSKY. We can see if that one's starting to shoot around a little bit. I mean, their offer is still the same, so I don't think they're going to get a yes on that, but they're up 5% just in case they do. So if someone wants this Warner Brothers play, that's for sure. All right, Palantir.
Super chat.
Yeah, sure. Put it up. Right now, Palantir's on its way. It just touched 199, by the way.
Highcroft is up 40% right now. Sticking with your theory about an afternoon dip. Well, the only thing I was saying about the afternoon dip was that it hadn't been doing it like recently, but maybe it does. At this point, when it's up this much, you're not necessarily wanting to chase it. The miners have been strong. Spot has been strong, whether it's gold or silver. These guys, this has now gone a little bit parabolic. Does AMC move when this thing moves?
No, AMC, no, isn't moving today.
It's weird because, whatever.
I don't even know.
They still invested?
I'm not sure. That's what I was going to say. I don't know what the deal is.
I just the morbid curiosity because I know these are the ones that AMC had invested in. But now 45% and still running. This one has gone absolutely ham. Like, that's almost squeeze level. That's a pretty parabolic candle that you're seeing here. So yeah, I agree with you, don't chase. But sometimes it does a dip, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if you want to take it as gospel. Silver, I'm looking at, like, that's not even breaking out at all, which is very, very disappointing. What is going, however, is Meta. Meta just broke out completely randomly. So there is some strength in this market as we try to bounce off the pre-market lows. It looks like Meta leading the way. Nvidia and some of the other chip names, not so much. But we are forming a base here, it seems like, at 183. We haven't made a fresh low on the 15 yet. So it looks like we have a chance now to start holding support on Nvidia. But I'm just in CCL. Like, that's the only thing that hit for me. Like I said, silver doing nothing, Bitcoin doing nothing. Right, actually, we're back under 90,000 on Bitcoin, believe it or not. 89.7, and just going back and forth.
Yeah, when moon, eh? I don't know. Palantir's back dancing around. We did have a good, so I'm thinking, like, I'm not into anything. I've already taken 2 swings and missed on the long already, but now it's 9:45. So Neil was just in CCL. So
I am still in CCL.
Okay, then there we go. So that problem's still not fixed, obviously. There goes right now Tesla. 494, trying to catch what's going on right there on Tesla. So 494 with an upside take on that play. So it looks like it's trying to break through 496. I mean, I think we should maybe just wait until 500. But I was also debating like getting in a little bit now and then using. But VWAP, the problem with VWAP is it's all the way down to 493. So actually, we could try that right here. I'm still waiting for the futures to get going back up to the upside. I think that could help. But here we go, man, on Tesla. If I'm going to take a 500 break, and I think it's going to be inbound, we can also try to get like a 494 or something on the dip buy. So we can do that. 494. Let's see if we get it. 490, but what am I doing? I'm typing in 994. 494 like 05. If we can get something down there, then maybe we'll try a little bit of a risk spot there for Tesla. So right in and around here, want to get the bottom of the range so that if we have to punch out, it's not that big of a hit, kind of like what we've been doing today. That's 492.50 is basically where VWAP is. So we might have missed the opportunity to dip buy this name, but we're on it now and we're looking. So that could be a play to come in there again for that one. So 495 and change, 496. Oracle near that $200 mark again earlier. I think it got to 198 or so this morning. Yeah, 198 flat right there off the open. Now a nice little pullback in that name. But look at the futures now starting to get going just a little bit. So I kind of think like maybe we've washed out a little bit to the bottom here, so I am looking to get long and maybe even the TQQs right now. I was waiting for a VWAP take, but that's kind of doing it right now at basically at 50, which is where I have my bid. So if we could break through 50, we're going to try the long, and then if it doesn't work, we'll get out, man. Let's just see if we get some momentum there back up to the upside with the TQQs. So that's what we're going to try with the Nasdaq right there. We got Tesla going on our mind, and then we got some Palantir as well on our mind. So these could all break almost momentarily and all at the same time. So we'll have to wait. Looks like Tesla 500 coming in, Palantir 200 coming in, just trying to place names that are strong and then looking at the futures possibly for breaking upside as well. So if the TQs breaks, we'll see if we can make back our 10 cents there or whatever and get this through 50. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right there on this break and then probably playing off the 200 period, which is here at 40s. So another quick hitter if the futures go, we'll see if we can get in and out of that one.
And quick hitters as the market is trying to bounce might be the way to go. I'm trying to stick in the VWAP here on silver and looking at the same thing on Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin, we're back above the 90,000. It just looks distinctly different on IBIT. So I'm going to quickly show you. I want to get off my silver chart because I'm sitting on VWAP right now looking for a dip buy. If we can come to the chart for a quick second. There we go. Looking for this dip buy. There's a bottom tail through the pre-market low, and then you're all green. So once it takes VWAP, I like it. I won't play simultaneously IBIT, but it's exactly the same pattern. Liquidity grab underneath the pre-market low, and then trying to hold on to the volume-weighted average price for potential break. I'm just going to elect to go for silver instead, as Tesla is now gone. Back through the high of the day on Tesla. And for anyone that's looking at, and it was on the watch list, Rocket Labs. That's actually, that's coming back. Never mind, I jinxed it. We just came through 77, so we're pulling back as we go to my left.
Yeah, exactly. There's some exciting news out of Canada now for sophisticated traders that are on this stream, guys. It's Beta Pro by Global X Canada. They are the largest ETF inverse provider there with levered ETFs. They have launched 6 new triple ETFs, 3x bull, 3x bear exposure to the TSX 60. There's also semiconductor and US Treasuries. And even better, they are offering a fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until the end of the year. Get involved fast. Plus, this US-focused strategy uses currency hedging, which we've talked about many times, for a more pure performance and exposure. If you're tactical and sophisticated, please look them up. Scan that QR code right there. Go to betapro.ca/3x Global. Thank you so much for them and their sponsor of the stream. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going over here.
Jinx Rocket Labs.
Oh, did it go up or down, Rocket Labs?
Like the second, I was like, oh, look at this one. It's super strong. Just took out the high of the day, and now it's breaking back down.
Okay.
Complete jinx. I swear, it had just broken the high of the day when we looked at it, and now starting to come all the way back in. But Tesla is on an absolute collision course with 500, as there's, that's right, Randy. Randy's like 500.
498.50.
498 and change. As it continues to go higher and higher and higher. Super strong day in here for Tesla. I haven't checked back in on Rivian, but that's because that wasn't on the watch today. So silver's trying to make a higher low, but it's Rivian I was just about to see. Is that doing? No, it's not really moving. Like Rivian just sort of chilling out here while Tesla does all of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, we're going to have to get ready because we're going to go long on Tesla. So here it comes, man. It's going to break 500 in a minute. There goes the TQs as well. So that plays in now. Let's just see what winds up happening here. I'm going to give it to 39s again on the downside. Hopefully, we do get a little bit of a winner on this. We could put something out for 10 cents, like we said, for that one. And then we'll wait. If we can keep going, we'll keep on taking pieces and pieces out of this name on the futures if it continues to go. But we don't want to have a double whammy here. So let's watch out. We're gonna here it comes to the upside right now is Tesla. Let's see if it can continue to push through. Hopefully we do get a little bit of an extension right now for this name, and we can get it through 500, and then we'll see what it does after that. I'm going to take a small piece of the pie, maybe like Maybe like 1 unit or so on this. You know, we've taken as much as like 5 or 6 units on this name before, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening right there with Tesla, but a little bit of an extension would be nice if it can push through. And then also the other name that's really super strong today is Palantir. So both of these names are coming up to key levels, 200 on one, 500 on the other. The other name that we tried the long, and the futures just tried to go, by the way, it went to 65, 63s there, which I'm sitting at. I don't know why we didn't get filled. Micron. So Micron still up 3%, but down since the open. So this is going to have to be another name that would be really nice to get going to help these futures out right now. Something about Trump and Hegseth right now. So we'll hear, I'm not sure what that announcement's going to be about, but if Adara hears that, she'll get that to us. So yeah, right now, looks like we have to wait for this TQQ play.
Okay, it's a shipbuilding announcement.
Oh, okay, shipbuilding. Okay, well, let's
that doesn't
build
seem
some more.
like that big.
Well, the Department of War are always looking to build warships, so that should be good. Pete Hegseth is the Department of War, I believe, right? So, yeah, so we'll see there if there's anything going on with Pete and Donald in all of that. So, all right, yeah, it looks like the futures are coming back down a little bit here. We're just going to sit in them and see if it wants to work out for us. Maybe it does not after all. But we're in it. We're long the NASDAQ here, just giving it a breath. You know, if we take down the 200 period, then we're going to get out again. Like I said, it's the market is a pretty violent mover these days, heading into what could be a slow week. I don't need to just be like punching VWAP and then waiting for it to get all the way down here, then punching out at the low, and then it making its way back up. These are just quick little trade ideas. If they work out, great. If they don't, we can easily get out of them. So we're going to wait on this to happen, and I'm going to cancel my Tesla bid and just wait to see if it breaks through 500. That'll be the bid that I want to take. Other than that, man, not much going on right now for me.
Yeah, I've reloaded CCL in front of 31. It looks like it's holding, but for now it hasn't really taken out that high. So we're just basing out on Friday's high levels. I mean, CCL obviously was really strong on Friday. You can't necessarily expect as big of a move, but as long as we can hold that pre-market low at that 31, I'm all for it. Silver, which we're also into, that's now dipping. Ooh, okay, so we wicked VWAP. If we can close above, giving it to this prior bar here. If we can close back above VWAP, that's going to be a good place to add. Tesla's still doing the same things before. But NVIDIA is at least something looking different. This was another name on the list. Now you're getting, there you go, higher lows in NVIDIA. I think you sort of suffered through the initial dip, and now it's looking like it wants to take out the volume-weighted average price. So NVIDIA looking like it's starting to get into the party, back into the upside as well. And I would imagine AMD on that Alibaba headline, yeah, distinctly different. I mean, still weaker, but distinctly different. All that selling looks like it's abated here on advanced micro devices. An Alibaba deal, which apparently was, that news was out there all morning, according to Dara. We just saw a reaction in the market of AMD going into the open. Always a little skeptical when that happens, but maybe not. So we're going to close above VWAP. We're going to take a shot on NVIDIA if we do, but for now, CCL's bouncing back to the upside. Let's see if silver can go. And when the market bounces, of course, now Tesla's pulling back. Logic. That makes no sense.
Yeah, it's great for me though, because right now, there it goes, man. We are now positive. Finally, we'll hit the bang. So far, so good. Positive here on the NASDAQ. We'll wait to see if it gets back up to the upside. We said that we were going to just sort of sit back and chill on this. Remember where our stop was, breaking of 40s, so it's already just about over that 1-to-1 risk right now. So I'm only out of 20% of this trade. 20% of this trade, I am out of that. So we'll have to wait to see if there's anything going on there. Another big name, of course, to watch out for if this market does want to rip. Here comes Tesla, by the way, fading out pretty nicely off that 5 bill level. I hope my guy has this trade over there, what's his name, Obi, because he likes to play some of these types of movements. But yeah, Tesla back to 494 would be VWAP, so watch out for that. I'm not sitting there. I'm already long the NASDAQ, so I'm going to wait. Like I said, if Tesla breaks 5 bills, I'll be there. Just don't want to catch us on the way back down, because then I would just increase my losses, because I do have the futures, and I do think that that will pull back if that does wind up happening. There's Palantir for you. Okay, just a quick little look on what's happening in some of these broader markets right now. Let's have a quick little look at this. It looks like we do have lunch and everything this week, so there'll be what's for lunch coming soon at 11 o'clock. I just got to double check the calendar. Tesla there, 2.94%, so that's what's kicking today. Not too many like overly red or like primarily green sectors. The one that sticks out to me would be energy today. We talked about Venezuela and a few things happening over there naturally. So watch out for those oil tankers and, you know, boarding of ships and all that. So that seems to be sending XOM, CVX, all those names a little bit higher as well. You have the healthcare technology, might be the red space right now. AbbVie downside there. J&J slightly flat. Eli Lilly still up, but not doing a whole heck of a lot, only up 0.32. Right now, Pfizer kicking nicely. The financials, we saw AIG with a nice little bump up there earlier, so you can watch out for Berkshire. They're invested in those guys. Yeah, JP Morgan up 1%. Like I said before, Bank of America, and then Goldman Sachs was up. I don't see where they are, but they were up earlier as well. Robinhood up 1.74. And don't call it a comeback, but our guy SoFi right now was actually rocking around as well. SOFI right there. SoFi Technologies.
Hopefully we do call it a comeback, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it hasn't been down that much, but yeah, SoFi back to 27. So there it goes, man. It was getting hit back to the downside. Let's see if it can get back up here. What was called the Palantir of the financials by our good friend Mitch over there at Trade the Pool. Yeah, it hasn't been too Palantir-like right now, but we'll see if it can get back up here into 30, break through there, and get going for SoFi. I like the stock at these levels. SOFI, I've been a buyer down here as well. So yeah, Intel and silver. I don't know. Oh, you're on silver now.
Yeah, the Palantir of banks is an interesting comparison. But we'll see. Because like, it's like, what? That just means it's going to have the ridiculous growth.
Kind of call it the next Palantir. I'm not sure if you said of banks, but
I guess,
I kind of added that part.
Like that. Because it's just a weird analogy to make.
We can ask him tomorrow.
Because Palantir is unique in its space. Just going to go over. Silver does not hold on to that prior wick. So we're losing the bid. We're underneath the volume weighted average price. So what CCL is doing, silver is not. So that early dip, like you're holding the line very well. On CCL for now. Hasn't really, like I said, it hasn't busted the highs, but if it breaks 31.5, I'm taking one more leg out. Tesla is getting through VWAP, but it's Nvidia right now.
I might buy that Tesla dip.
Yeah, Nvidia a second ago, there we go, a second ago looked like it was going to be a reversal candle on the 3-minute. Like, check out that wick. That looks pretty bearish. And then all of a sudden, volume comes in heavy here on Nvidia, taking us higher. So Nvidia is not even going to give you much of a consolidation at VWAP here. Just all, I mean, I want to say it's all gas. And well, AMD's at the low. So clearly Nvidia is the place to go. Let me double check Intel for myself, still under VWAP. I want to have some kind of a fade if the market rejects the top here at 25.8. But Nvidia is the one going. So I'm going to get on that VWAP as we're going to go up to the desk. Adara has an update for us, and probably happening now.
Indeed, it is happening now. No economic data coming through here, so I'd like to talk about on that front. We did get some comments earlier today from Fed's Myron saying, amongst other things, that there could be a rising recession risk should the Fed not adjust policy, also adding that he believes there were some anomalies in last week's inflation data as a result of the recent government shutdown. What I think was maybe more interesting here was Fed's Myron saying that he actually doesn't know if he's going to vote for a 25 basis point or a 50 basis point cut at the next meeting. Now, this is significant because every meeting since he joined, he has been voting for 50 basis point cuts without a doubt. So interesting look there. Let's talk here about some of these Mag 7 and tech plays because they are really a lot of what's leading this market from a news perspective. TSLA trying and failing as of right now to break 500, couldn't even break 499, but absolutely on watch after Elon Musk says he's been, quote, vindicated, winning this appeal for his $56 billion pay package there. I guess looks like that's now been reinstated by this Delaware Supreme Court. Let's take a look here at AMD as well. This one spiked higher pre-market after we started to see traders talk about a report from earlier this morning from MLEX suggesting that Alibaba and AMD might have a chip deal. Last but not least, NVDA, another chip-related name on watch here, reportedly, according to Reuters, planning on beginning to ship its H200 chips to China early next year in, I guess, 40 to 80,000 units per shipment. Before we send you back to Neil and Sean for more trading action, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics. Millions of concussions, 0 approved therapies. Origenics, trading on the NYSE as OGEN, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Origenics is positioned to drive what comes next. See what's ahead and book a meeting today. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We go back to Sean and Neil.
All right, well, futures went to the downside right here a little bit there, and obviously I did try, so we did get stopped out of the TQs. We put some money back into our pocket there at least, but it does wind up breaking lower. We never broke through that 70 marker, so there it goes. Just, you know, not trying to stay in these things if they don't want to work, right? I mean, same thing just happened with Tesla there. We lost $1. We got long at 493s. We got some 490. I think we got 493.40s, and our average price was about 40s or so. And then it broke through 493, and we got out. So we actually got a 492.90 print. So no severe damage done at all on this, but the market is pulling back. Just wondering if we're going to be that range bound again, where we've just made that high. Now we just kind of have to wait for the lows again in the market, and maybe the same thing is true for Tesla. But Tesla just tested VWAP and broke it, so it did get up to $500, man. It got to 499. Now you're down to 492 right here on that market. I still, maybe we got stopped out at the very bottom there of the Qs. I don't want to be too stubborn and get back into it. That's how you get hurt. But we just kind of did hold VWAP a little bit. Maybe we'll try one more time on the Qs here.
Speaking of hold VWAP, that's exactly what NVIDIA is trying to do here. As it pulled right back in, it did make, look, it clearly broke the trend that was to the downside. But the first available dip right here is about to, we just opened under VWAP. So I have my stop out's going to be this prior bar. So this is the bar before the volume weighted average price. But it's a 3 minute, so like 183.10 or so. I'm not looking at the even dollar. I want to see his close on another higher low, and then it can be an add. While that's happening, at least like CCL did bust the high, but it didn't break. Okay, so it busted the consolidation high, but it hasn't taken out Friday's high at 31.5, which it's about to do right now. And maybe my sneeze will get it through. So this is continuing to go higher and higher. One of the other runners from last week, Palantir, has pulled all the way back under VWAP. Can't seem to hold. I'd wait for at least 195 if it doesn't hold at 197. So no 200 break, it looks like, on Palantir, unfortunately. No, at least not yet. But my eyes are going to be on NVIDIA. For now, CCL seems to just be cruising, but you know, NVIDIA is starting to lose that volume weighted average price. If we lose 183.10, I'm just going to be jumping out of here. If we close underneath the volume weighted average price, then this is not going to be a good dip buy. Looking at what I would have played southbound, where's my fail thing? Like, yeah, Intel, right to VWAP. It's like a huge failed breakout, market off the lows, and this bounces right into VWAP for a short, but today we weren't looking short Intel for some reason. This was another, oh, by the way, Intel was a surprise sell at the close on Friday. So the other thing it did is it dropped right through that same level that was consolidated and flushed. So I think Intel kind of showed you where the buyers are down here at 36.7. Anytime you see that on those big imbalances, it can be a good piece of information where the buyers come in. Intel was maybe the most violent move on Friday at 350 out of the bigger cap.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, okay. It was because it was out of nowhere, like nothing expected, and then all of a sudden it just got flushed. But only the algos could catch that trade.
All right, we're just going to try to play the bottom range on the Nasdaq. So we're going to try it around here again, and just going to give it 10 cents. So if we break below 54.30s, we're going to get out right now of that one. And we did take a little bit of a bid. Again, we're just trying to see if there's any bottoms to be caught right now. I'm just thinking really thinking that it could be a range-bound situation that we do have here today. And it looks like right now, Tesla's got a nice fall back in, man. You're getting $7 discount right now on Tesla. Like, it was just at $4.98. So, you know, for us traders, that might be something. I don't know, for you guys out there right now, it might not be a huge move at all to be too hard focused on Tesla, but coming into 490, watch out for that 488. I was going to try to give it down to there, but I don't know, man. I don't want to be too over invested here. I was waiting for 489s, 50s or so to come in just on this break, 49.51s. We'll put on a double our position, but again, playing pretty lightly just to see if the market wants to go today. Trying to find some good names. We liked Tesla early, but it just hasn't really panned out for us. That break there of 488, we got to get out. 487.99. If it breaks that, let's scram out of Tesla's way right now. I don't know if the long or the short's going to be right, man. I'm trying to play names that do have some momentum to them today, and I think we did well. We waited for the 50 period to come into Tesla. We took it. It just didn't hold, and it's a good thing. It's not a good thing it didn't hold, but it's good. There it goes on the futures, by the way. It's a good thing we got out of it, because otherwise it'd be a little bit more pain trade than we're in right now. But yeah, the Tesla and the futures right now just dropped through again on the futures. Like we got that 33 or 4 fill there, and it looks like that might have been the bottom one more time. So let's wait to see if there is a bottom in this, and if not, Bitcoin's still at 90,000. So just a couple longs today, not really panning out. So we'll see if Tesla is one of those names that maybe will work out right now for us. But Tesla trying to get that long, and then the futures as well, looking for that long, which we just had, which faded out against us. So the DXY, yeah, the dollar might be something there as well. Oh, there's that, yeah. Tesla.
It's Tesla, Meta, Mass, because for obvious reasons, you know that stock's doing nothing. Palantir, Sidious, SIDU, not Darth Sidious, Sidious Space. SIDU is like an inside joke amongst our friends. I can't make this up. We once had a buddy, a very good friend of ours, who, you know, sometimes he spent some time in the old tank after a night at the bar, and his roomie for the night was a dude named SIDU. Yeah. We never let him hear the end of it. So shout out to you, SIDU, but it is up 80%. What I will tell you is very interesting about this stock. Look at $2.10 on SIDU. For the last 15 minutes, someone is holding $2.10 exactly that price. So if you're long, you can either take some profit out in front of it, whatever, off VWAP, that's 10%, or maybe wait for it to break that 210 level. But there's no size on the offer. Well, I mean, nothing significant. It's like 100,000 shares. The stock's done 120 million, so that's not significant at all. But somebody is holding it up at that 210 level on Sidious. Nvidia's bounced off VWAP now. Wanted to take out 184. So I've scalped some out. I'm probably going to take more out right in front of 184 because someone's holding Nvidia underneath $184 as well. So it's just in between VWAP and 184 here for Nvidia. CCL, I was asked where is the target for CCL. Now that it's broken the high, don't really have an obvious one outside of the even dollars. Like there is a double top at 32.8 that I think he can get to. Will it get there clean on day 2 after earnings? I don't think it gets there necessarily clean. But if I see a trend break on the 15-minute, I'm jumping out, or I'm just looking for that even dollar there on CCL. So still remaining strength in CCL. And I do see the super chat. And it is again, we're talking about, HTMC. Oh, sorry, I thought it was going to be HYMC. My bad. Danny's boy. So mystery solved at HTMC. Eric Sprott announced that he's taken a 40%, or it is HYMC, 40% ownership stake in HYMC, and he's calling it a 10-bagger for 88 hundo. So there we go. That's why Highcroft is going so crazy. Sprott taking a 40% ownership stake, and it is now up 57%. This was 40% the last time we mentioned it. Hey, you're looking for that midday dip buy? Yeah, about that. Yeah, maybe not. There's not even a red candle in sight. I suppose there's going to be some kind of a profit-taking moment in Highcroft, but wow. Talk about a runner. Thank you, Eric Sprott. You should be thanking him, Danny's boy. Great-looking trade up there. There's nothing standing in its way. Maybe like a trend, but I don't know if you're sitting there like what to do with this thing, if you're looking to add to it or if you're looking to just maybe take some profits, but distinct uptrend. For sure, no questions asked. Like it's very, very clean. And maybe when that crazy program buying stops, that's a good place to take profit. Could be happening actually right now, because that trend line, it could have the first close underneath the 3-minute of the trend line on the 3-minute if this fails to get back above about 25.9. Maybe a good a spot as any.
Okay. No, nothing. There was a story about.
I just heard.
Yeah, no, something about Tesla and some crashes or doors not opening or something. So I don't know if that's what helped us to get to the downside. But it's right here at 488.60. Was thinking about like trying to put on a bid right now, and then now finally going to give this just a little bit of time to see if it. Okay, well here we go. I don't like that story out right there. We'll get it from Adara. Okay, so maybe it's nothing. Okay, good. Adara's not seeing anything. That's good right there. We'll see if we do get a little bit of a bump. Yeah, see, no. I was going to say, will this hold 488? Like, we're not being... We did this on Thursday when we were here when Tesla just kept on falling and falling and falling. So there it goes, man. I'm not even going to ask any more questions. There it goes. We tried the 50 period. We tried right here at the 200. Those are normally levels that will hold if the stock has any kind of strength. Not only did I really like this last trade, which is too bad because like right into the pre-market levels, and we just don't hold that at all. So there it goes, man. Yeah, like that story's been out there, so I don't know what's going on. But Tesla, pretty aggressive pullback now, you know, off of their highs, $5 bills. So wow, now coming back into 486 and change. Tesla, what a great short that would have been up there. Everyone looking long, right? That all you had to do was go short with a $2 risk or even a $1 risk. It got to the high today is 498.83. And I wonder if the same thing's true of Palantir right here, as yeah, a little bit of a pullback on Palantir, obviously not as dramatic. But the stock is half the price. So nice move back down there for Palantir, very similar. It's not at its 200 period yet. Does that mean that we want to hold that? I don't know. We'll wait. But there it comes back in for the Qs as well. We're just going to be patient now. I know we have a little bit on right here, but I'm going to wait for this level to come through, which is coming in soon, 15s. And then we'll wait for the level that we actually wrote down here, which was on the TQs, our number one trade, 53.75. So I think that that's going to be the best thing to wait for until that happens right now. That was sort of the closing area that we had on Friday is what we wanted to wait for. So we're unfortunately, we actually did okay there on the Qs and then lost it right there and lost the last one as that's still coming back in. Big size right there, not going to mean anything as it should just whip right through it if it wants to. Yeah, Tesla not finding a bid. Micron might be okay. Honestly, that one's down here at 70s, so that could be a bid that happens for us eventually. But only 3 names, man. I don't have I don't have any winners. MDLN though was a big one for me last week, so that's still at $43. I see someone in the chat talking about.
Great IPO for them. Remember, they're a healthcare stock. That's the key. I think that's the key for them is that they weren't a tech name, and maybe that's why the sellers weren't that aggressive. But I'm out of both my longs. Nvidia loses VWAP in here. I mean, silver will end up being worse just because I didn't get really any profit on silver, but ultimately this one still could hold VWAP, but once it broke that prior bar, I'm jumping out. We can always get back into this if it looks a little bit better. The market's at the low of the day as well. And maybe a different story with CCL. There was a topping tail candle. It didn't get to 32 even, but it got pretty close to 31.90. Once that topping tail candle came in, trailing stop goes underneath it. Might try for a pullback if we get back into VWAP. So CCL does work, and that ends up being a day 2 play. But everything else, this market not looking overly strong, unfortunately. Just checking in, if you look at where we're sitting, we're pretty much at that opening range low. So if we can bounce here, ooh, look at that. Fabian, that looks fantastic. I like it. But if we can hold this opening range low on the Qs, I'll probably like Nvidia at least one more time. And thank goodness we got away from silver at VWAP, because when we started filling the gap, I was thinking 61.5 before you got to 61, but suddenly it's putting in a pretty aggressive reversal candle here on silver. This has a chance to be a nice reversal candle. If it does so, then I'll take another shot at silver, maybe breaking this trend, bottoming tail wick, break this trend line, and then come back into the volume weighted average price. But that requires some patience here. Yeah, just CCL that worked really.
What am I doing here?
And keep your eyes, if you're in small cap land, keep your eyes on that SIDU 210. Obviously, that's a seller. Can't sit there.
121.97.
It's a SIDU.
Okay. So I just got, all right. I made a little bit of money, but kind of by fluke there. I was looking at Robinhood at 122, so I actually bought it at 20s, and then I threw out a stop order at 122 breaking, and I must have put the wrong order again, so we got in and out of it, but I just punched right. Whenever you make a keystroke error, it's sometimes a smart thing to do would be get right back in because you've already analyzed the trade, and I like Robinhood down here. Let's pick a name that's up that could bounce. So here we go. We're long into Robinhood. My initial long, and we already made money on it, was 36s or 37. So here it comes, nicely cooking now, back up to the upside now for Robinhood. So this could be a winner for us finally. So that'll be nice. Here, let's put this back over there, make sure that we do take something out on Robinhood. So a nice little move higher right here. We'll punch out of a bit. Ooh, we just missed that punch. That's me sitting there at 98. So we just missed that 98 punch. But what a good move higher there. Maybe I'll just cross out again. There we go. We get a 90 fill on a cross out. So good little move there on Robinhood. So made a little bit of money there at least on a name. And we are offering, sorry, it's 99s we're offering on Robinhood. So we tried to punch out and then they front ran the order a little bit, go down 10 cents. Let's see if we get a little bit of a bump up now on Robinhood. So just a name that's had a little bit of an up and a down spot. We find it near its day low. Just trying to find something that's not Tesla here. So I'm not just trying to dip by the same name every time, every day. So we'll wait on that one, 486.50 for Tesla. But Robinhood, let's see if we get a 99 fill, and then even back to VWAP, which is 34s. Let's put an offer up there as well, 123.30s. Okay, we'll see if we can get that. So we'll give this a little bit of a go now for that. There's Tesla, finally came in. So, all right, we're long at 486.55. Let's see what winds up happening here with Tesla. Quick little out there, and now we'll see if it can run a bit higher. Let's start to piece this out. If we can finally have a winner on the name, would be really nice. So, and of course, it goes right back against us again. So let's wait to see what happens here with Tesla, trying to get going. There it is, dollar winner on Tesla, but we need to have some work done back up to the upside on this name.
And speaking of upside, IonQ and some of these quantum names are really, really looking strong into what hasn't been the best market in the world. 9% on IonQ. I don't recall seeing a story.
There's no news that I'm seeing.
Okay, so thank you, Adara. There is no news on IonQ for those that are asking, but looking very, very strong. Just want to double check Rigetti. I would imagine just as strong. Just Parabolic, 11%.
What? Okay.
There were downgrades on a couple of other names in the space. I remember on the upgrade downgrade board, QUBT had a downgrade, and I forget the name of the other one. But here comes that trend break, potentially here on silver. So here's your bottoming tail candle. Then you're going to get the break up. Once we break this trend line, that'll be my next trade. Of course, CCL, that rejection candle just got taken out. So CCL is going to get to 32 after all, as that continues to look incredibly strong. Nvidia is under VWAP, so I feel like silver is going to be the next trade. For me, Bitcoin's still under 90,000. Just cannot seem to hold on to that 90,000 level. We've been back and forth. I can't even count how many times we've been over under the 90,000 level on BTC. But until we find like a stable direction off that level, there's no point fighting it. Just kind of a washout style trade there. Every time you took the long, it doesn't go anywhere for you, and then you end up stopping out if you have a tight stop. So I'm going to wait for this to close, and I think we'll have our second shot at silver. CCL might have gotten away from us a little bit too much there. I'm not going to go chasing that.
Yeah, we're so we got out of half of our Tesla, and now it's just fading back out. So it didn't, like, we were trying to see if this could take out the 200 period moving average. It does not do that right there. So that was 488.75. My best outs are, I think, 488.30s, something like that. 47.90 actually was my best out. I have a bunch of outs in the 70s. So that's the best that we've had on that one. So we had the best was about $1.20, $1.30, the best trade that we had on this. So that's it. So we won't make everything back on Tesla yet. We're going to try to see if it can hold out and get back to the upside, and see if we can hold out on some of our fills until a little bit later now, so we can make some of this money back. But making the money back doesn't really matter. It's about trying to make the best trade, and naturally, if you make a good trade, the money will come back. So 488 right now, looking to see if we can get another piece out right there. It's not greedy at all, man. I mean, we're waiting for more, but I don't feel like, you know, in this range right now, worth getting out, making sure that we're just, if I get the 488s, we'll just be at about half. We're just over half what we have left so far on that play. And looks like Robinhood came back up and bounced off our 99s there. So we're going to offer that out, get 88s. I'm not going to cancel my 99. Let this thing flow back to the upside right there. A couple good outs on Robinhood, helping us make our day back just a little bit. But realistically, man, I mean, Tesla could really make it sing if it goes back up to the upside. I'll get another out here in the 60s. Now we'll wait for O's, and then hopefully a lot higher after. There it is. Yes, 488. Go Tesla. Almost back to green on Tesla. Big winner on Robinhood, and waiting for these futures to get going as well. So a little bit of a roller coaster day, to say the least, if you're trying to catch longs. Maybe the long is finally in, Neil. Who knows on that one. You're long silver, which is good to see. I got Tesla, Qs, and Robinhood right now, and let's see if these Qs can, okay, Qs might be at a spot right here as well. There goes Tesla. Yeah, buddy. Finally, Tesla's starting to get back up to the upside now. So good little level there. $2 now here. We haven't hit this all day. Let's do it right now. $2 now in the money on Tesla, just making our way back to Greensville on this name. So hopefully that will happen before we get back. But yeah, Tesla right now upside. Neil's got silver, and Adara's got something for you at the desk.
Caps?
Yeah. Some kind of cap.
What I have is small caps. SIDU, of course, on watch here. SIDU's space. Apparently, they're receiving a contract here under the Missile Defense Agency, Scalable Homeland Innovative Enterprise Layer Defense. What a name here for this program. They've got a total IDIQ ceiling of $151 million. SIDU also has an 8.5% short float. Let's talk here about AZI, Atozi Internet Technology. This story is actually back from Friday morning, but looks like a bit of a carryover play because they gapped up pretty well this morning. AZI, as of Friday morning, announcing that apparently a strategic investor with the company has confirmed a $90 million initial equity investment. So good look there for AZI. Just under 2 million share float. Now, HXHX has about a 2.5 million share float. Haoshin Holdings, no news for this one. Back on Wednesday, they announced that they received a Nasdaq non-compliance notification. Nothing that I could see since last Wednesday. Before we send you back, Neil and Sean will take a moment to thank our friends at BTCC. Because, guys, I just found something crazy. I'm digging into exchanges and I stumbled across BTCC. They're in the top 30 globally. But here's the wild part. BTCC has never been hacked. And while major exchanges keep getting wrecked, BTCC stays untouched. Zero KYC if you are in the US, Canada, or Europe. And through Trader TV, you get 100 USDT coupons for registering, plus a 15% bonus thing that covers losses for up to 15K USDT. So seriously, what am I missing here? Scan that QR code for more info. Go back to Neil and Sean. Make sure to like and subscribe. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara, of course. And as always, those small cappers really moving. That Sidious, I keep saying Sidious, it is Sidus. I think Sidious because I'm a Star Wars fan. That's all my bad. So we got that, like I said, we got this trend break here in silver, which had been only going down, but it goes right into pre-market lows and catches some resistance. I'm looking for VWAP to get 3/4 of it out. If we can break that, look for the high of the day. But speaking of SIDU, another top. See, look at it break out that 210 buyer. Be nice if it could retrace and maybe give you a second shot at that 210 just to see what it will look like on the bid there. But SIDU certainly looking a little bit strong, up 110%. I think that's the one to watch, just based on volume, what it's done in the past. Nvidia's broken back above VWAP and trying to put another higher low. The second it does, I'm going to look to try to go long there, that one again. But silver, just you look for that trend break, waited all this time for it to break the trend, and there's the prior bar losing. So there you go. Like it broke trend line, but it loses the prior bar. Got one out pretty much only, so don't like that one. It's going to end up being a fail. Really, it's just been CCL that's been clean, and even then it went way further than expected. Because that's continuing to go higher. Not going to chase it up here. I still like this as a day two play in CCL, but I'll look for some kind of a reasonable pullback. Right now, that would be prior day high. So 31.5, that's also VWAP. We'll let this one come back about $0.50, and then we take a shot in CCL again. So day two, do like what we see out of them. Only up 2.5%. Nowhere near as strong as it was on Friday, but you can't necessarily expect that. It is a day two play.
Of doing real big things right now. So we do real big things. We can have nice things around here too. There goes Tesla. So now Tesla's now, Joseph, 1, 2, 3, 4, finally, right now in the money as it's starting to go. So we're happy with that performance. Then I've got another one of Joseph's face slappers over here as we got Robinhood right now in the money about 50 cents. So yeah, that's having a problem with 123. So we'll take another piece out here on that 123 marker and then see what winds up happening with Robinhood. And then a little bit more out here on Tesla as well as we get up to VWAP. We just took a 491. Sorry, we took a 490.95. We were sitting there waiting for that one. So that's been pretty decent. So yeah, just giving us a little bit of love here for some Tesla trading that's finally worked out. I mean, Tesla's going to the upside. Is Palantir bouncing? No. So it's kind of oppo right there. Look what the market's doing. Nothing right here. So I think we'll just hitch our wagon maybe to Tesla now and just see if that goes. It's been a tough wagon to ride today unless you were short near that $400 marker. But now the futures had a hard time breaking through 40. So I'm going to sit at 40 now, take a little bit out, just sort of wash this trade a bit. We're long at 37s. See if we can get some out at 40. Then I'm waiting for 46s and then 56 and see if we can get a little bit higher. Oh, I wanted to look at Google before. We did have a quick look at that. That $300 level, again, like not being here on Friday, wanted to look at that 300 level. What did it do on Friday? So it does bounce nicely off of that. So we do have some good support if Google does get into this area. We're not that close to it right now, 307, something to look at, but not really in now for that play. Oracle had a nice little run up earlier as well. We are getting ready, man. It's 10:30 in a half hour. You'll have Joe and Sharif to talk all about stocks with you guys as well. Oracle 193 up to 197. Hit your like and your subscribe if you're with us right now. Oracle up 3%. Good trade. Whenever I think about Oracle, I think about Micron as well. Two names that are going in opposite directions. Micron holding out at 270. Too bad. Like now Tesla's pulling back in. We're out of 2/3 of that Tesla trade, by the way. I just wanted to think about another long on a pullback, and I know that Micron's been so strong, but the momentum today is like, it's not great, man. I mean, these futures just continue to hit levels and bounce right off of them, man.
Yes, is a bit stronger.
Yeah.
Nasdaq's clearly weaker.
Is it an Nvidia problem or what? Because like Nvidia's 183.
Nvidia's relatively strong.
No, that's okay. Apple then maybe 271. Yeah, this could be a little bit of a problem. They've been trending downwards today too. So has the market has only been nice. I mean, I think there's really only one answer for that, unless we're just talking about today. Then I think it's been relatively.
The answer is the Russell.
Yeah, the Russell's down. Oh, up. Okay.
Yeah, the answer right now is like you've like the Nasdaq's the worst of it. ES is almost back at the highs, so you can't really blame the S&P. But it's the Russell, like the IWM on a 15-minute. There haven't been any red candles yet. You watch out for. You got a couple of dollars to go until you get to some serious resistance, and we've seen it with like the Ion Qs of the world. I don't necessarily know what like Rivian's doing. That's not doing anything. But you have a lot of small cappers that are looking much better. There was news. I see a few people mentioning Netflix. That's bouncing off the lows. There is, of course, financial backing guaranteed by Big Papa Ellison.
Right.
I guess no one ever calls him that, but he's money bags anyways for the Paramount Skydance deal. Now, the thing about it is initially Netflix popped on that. And then it drops right at the open. I still think this is every day that goes by without them having to raise their bid, where they stick to their guns, I think is positive for them. But at the open, this really dropped off. Not liking what I see there on Netflix personally. I started adding to this one on Thursday, I believe it was, that we got filled. And I feel like I'm probably going to do so if they keep punishing them for this deal. At some point, we're going to get an actual resolution where we know what's going to happen with Warner Brothers. Whether it's going to be, okay, this is it, this is final, Skydance has given up because the board's really not going for it, or maybe they end up just getting a higher bid that they think is better than Netflix's, and then you can go on from there. But one way or another, when it's resolved, that's what I'm looking for to add. NVIDIA, again, trying to hold a higher low. At least now, it's been long enough. 1, 2, got 3 points of contact, and now VWAP for a trend line. So it's pretty simple. You hold the trend line, I'm going long. We don't hold it here, then I need to back off of it. Still also waiting for CCL. CCL gets to 32, looking for this one to pull back into 31.5. I'm not going to sit on the bid, but if we do get down there, I want to look for any kind of a bounce play for round 2 on Carnival Cruise Lines. Oh, and Computranet making a good point here. Paramount, Larry Ellison announced $45 billion personal guarantee causing that drop. Yeah, that was it's a big number.
Yeah.
But that's also what people were looking for in terms of that offer in the first place. Where's the financing? You guarantee that you have the financing or it's not a superior offer. Well, now it is a superior offer, at least in my opinion it is.
What just happened there? Oh, Robinhood came back down in. Okay, so I'm just trying to get it literally at the same price. So if 486.50 comes in again, I'll buy some more Tesla. Other than that, I'm just gonna let it snow basically. And I mean, if it comes back in, which it's done. I just don't want to average up into that area because then it just sets this all off. So I'm going to wait and just keep playing off this low, right? If we break this 486, we'll give it a heartbeat and then we'll get out. So that's going to be something for me, and I'm just waiting for it. I see some people asking there in the chat, what up with that? Okay, Robinhood's about to get cranked right now through 122. So I don't know, what's up with this. We had a good winner on Robinhood and then all of a sudden no. So, we're here to take a shot on it. So that's what we're doing. But it looks like that shot will be, eradicated very, very soon if we do break through. It looks like it wants to do that. So breakthrough of 120. How much room am I giving this one? Nothing. So 121, there it is, 121.97. So we actually get no slippage on that one. We'll have to slap a fail, but overall, Robinhood was fine. We tried it there, but if you're holding it, it just broke through the low of the day, Robinhood, with the futures trying to go as well lower. So I think, the right thing to do.
Losing support.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin, yeah. So the right thing to probably do there is drop this. So we'll stay away now. We did say that we like some IBIT. I wrote down $50 on that. Let's have a quick little look. So we're not there yet. I was sort of thinking that might have been that like 88 or so level for that. And, it's held at 50. Well, not really on the daily. It must have been something else that we liked for $50 there maybe it was just a closing price or so on Friday. So yeah, IBIT was up 2 and a bit percentage points, now coming back in. And yeah, no surprise there to see Robinhood cut. Well, a little bit surprised. I mean, when we were cruising up here, I thought we had the winner, but when it starts cracking back in, you see how we don't average in until it gets basically points away from our stop. I think that's going to be, the right strategy overall on a day like today when the market just seems to be a little bit whipsawy, hitting the highs, hitting the lows. We haven't really hit any sort of a high in about 45 minutes, right? We got to 25.7 right there and just kind of hovered around for a bit. And since then, really, sure, we tanked to the lows again, made a move, but only got to the 50 period, didn't even get to VWAP. And then now trying to make our little moves back and forth. So, all right, we've averaged in a little bit here on the TQs. Let's just see if that wants to work off the day's low. And like I said, just trying to get involved at some of these key levels and really nothing else. And if it breaks it, and we have some cover. So that's what we're doing, just trying to wait around for those plays. People still talking about silver. We talked a little bit about that. Google, people like that. Amazon. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, we do have that board in there behind us. It's just FJET. The Holtz rate now is...
It's still the same name.
Yeah.
That's the same top 5 as before. Tesla, Meta, Mask, SIDU, and Palantir, Mask. So FJET should be on there. Like realistically, it's FJET and Rocket Lab because that Mask stock it's just an inside. If you're just tuning in, the Mask thing is an inside joke with the viewers. They were just trolling me from Friday. It's not moving. It's not significant. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Don't trade it. But certainly FJET is moving. That's that recent IPO. I'm going to sneeze again. That's that IPO from last week. And both the IPOs from last week have been fantastic, whether it's Medline or FJET. Just this one doing a little bit of a second rally. So it held the low. Like, that's pretty clean. I was skeptical that it was going to be able to hold that low after it got dumped on Friday, but it has. And now trying to fill in the gap. Just understand how ridiculous the pullback was when it got into the high teens. It went from 18 effectively to, I think it was like 750 or something without even trying to stop. So when they pull the plug on FJET, like, it comes crashing down to earth rather quickly. That's a bad pun. Oh, we were just holding VWAP. Well, look, that's a bad pun. You're actually sending things into space. I shouldn't use that pun because that's rather negative. It's rather morbid. But Nvidia had just held VWAP, and now it loses it. So that's twice on Nvidia. It can't seem to hold on. Going to go back over to the well on CCL and continue to wait for this one to give me some kind of a dip buy for an entry because it's the only one that worked clean. Like, it held early, broke out. I'm just waiting for it to pull back and maybe resume that trend as the market is not looking very good. It might be green, but it hasn't been all that clean to set upside. What's our friend Palantir doing? Like, look at Palantir. This was one of the strongest names off the open. It's gone full circle and lost a bid. So you're probably thinking, got to look to some smaller names. Rocket Lab could be in play. Yeah, just going to have to look to something else. And Rocket Lab has a nice wedge. It's in play. It actually is on our watch list this morning, Rocket Labs, because they announced like a $800 million US-based development deal. So up 7%. I like this wedge pattern. So again, just going to jump to something else if I don't get CCL. You break the wedge upside, I'm looking long. I am favoring the long, so I'm not going to go short if it breaks that wedge downside. But I'll look for this to resolve to the upside and take a shot there if we don't get CCL.
Yeah, not Not sure what's going on with this men's stock, but we do have another halt here right now. So this has just got halted right there at 1033. So there it goes. Adair, if there's any news on men's right now, nice move upside there, $4 up to 520. Some good talk about this name. Got really crushed. Like, you know, this was $70. So I don't know if this has something to do with hims and hers or whatever, but there it comes right back in. And, you know, you might be at a level for this. Yes.
No news on this one. This is actually kind of a day two mover as well. On Friday morning, they apparently reaffirmed compliance with disclosure obligations. So that's still there with MENS. No news as of today.
All right. Well, the news right now is that the market is cranking lower pretty aggressively. So there goes Tesla. Finally breaks 486. I mean, we thought we would be pretty disciplined with that. We didn't quite make it all back, but we were close right there on Tesla. So if I would have got it all out up there, we probably would have been close to flat on it. But I was still waiting for a VWAP break. I'm, you know, fine to get stopped out there and try to wait for that bottom on Tesla, because we tried to wait already, and I thought we did pretty good waiting, and just came in and didn't give it to us. So, you know, in trying to trade a little bit of like what Michael was saying, they're playing names that have some momentum to it. I really thought Tesla's momentum was higher, and we were going to break through that 500, but it's just been faded ever since. So yeah, downside right now for Tesla, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better over there for that name. So right now, anyways, I tried it and did not hold out. So we actually got stopped out at that exact break. Actually, that's strange, because my stop out is 486.03. So it should have been a 486 break, but I guess it broke, and then you know, it didn't market me out, which was a good thing. My order actually got a much better price, so we could have got a lot worse on that break. We actually get above the break price. So I guess that's why when I look over, it ain't that bad. All right, so we still have the futures long. That just might have bounced off a key level. We'll wait to see if there's any sort of an actionable place there. It came right into our level that we wrote down, and we finally, still on Tesla, and we finally grabbed that down there. So that was our sort of our posted level of, we got 88s or 89s. So let's see what happens now with the TQs. It's trying to battle back a little bit.
Yeah, trying to battle back. I just noticed we had this poll up here, because I was trying to figure out what I think it was Tony in the chat was saying to me. And it's the naughty or nice. Has the market been naughty or nice?
Right.
41% of you say nice, 59% say naughty. Over what time frame would be my question for this? Today it's been naughty, but over the year, how can anybody say anything but nice for the year? Mm-hmm. So that's, again, it really depends on your time frame. So I'm going to make the assumption that because Fabian just said in my ear that he meant over the year, naughty or nice. So for the 750 of you that have voted, then it's hard to say naughty. I think you got to be. It's been a nice year in the markets, unless your name is insert short seller, and I don't know who's a famous short seller other than Burry. I can't even think of one, but you know, it's probably been bad for. That would be my guess. It's been a nice year. The last little bit, maybe not so much, and certainly this morning, you know, it hasn't been as bullish as it started out. But hey, there's been some rockets to the upside. One of them, Rocket Labs, is now on my watch. This is the plan of action. You're still holding this little, I call it like a wedge, but I suppose there's like you could call it like a pennant or something else if you're a chartered market technician. Once it breaks higher, I want to look for that long, another bottoming tail wick. So just waiting for this one to finish setting up and start breaking out. And then we can go have some fun with Rocket Labs. Again, they got a US government deal. Which is why it's up 7%. Yeah,
normally those deals create those kind of action. We've seen those kind of plays on Palantir, of course, Rocket Lab, and I see that Boeing. Oh, Boeing. I was going to say, like, I think the year of 26 will be diversification, right? Which is, I'm trying to set my portfolio up for that. I've already said that I think you'll be a little bit disappointed if you're all in tech names in 26. I mean, Amazon's flat on the year. You know, obviously Google's been running. We can check out what Microsoft's been doing on the year. Not the greatest, man. Some of the Nasdaq has been helped out, of course, by Apple's most recent big move. You see what Tesla's doing now as well. Meta's back in. Meta on the year, I'm actually not even sure about Meta right now. The Nasdaq's been pretty good. I think it was 16%. I have to double check what the Nasdaq is on the year because it's been fluctuating the last couple months. That is for sure. Yeah. Okay. So here's January, basically for Meta. So, you know, Meta last year was right around here. If you really, you know, if you completely cherry cherry pick it. That's January 3rd. So if you go down basically to the beginning of the year, which would be 587, which is that level that we bounced off of. So, they're still up quite nicely, about that 10% or a little bit more than that on the year for Meta. So, but we know the way these names can fly around, man. So just be careful with whatever names you're looking at this year. And Amazon's flat. We saw downside for Costco. There's been lots of different, I know Costco's not a New York name, Nasdaq name, but looking at names to diversify potentially into 26. So
Costco was a real,
which is why I showed Boeing.
Tariff story. Like they took the really big strike because that stock was just been cruising until then, unfortunately. But it's 10:40.
Ooh.
I think we got to head on to, well, I mean, it'll be right on my shoulder. Let's go to the desk.
That's right, guys. It's time to talk sector watch, and this board is largely green, so we'll start with what's strong. Financials doing incredibly well today. BRKB, JP Morgan, and Visa all to the upside. Citigroup and Blackstone here doing even better. Consumer services doing incredibly well. Producer manufacturing strong. Consumer services strong. Process industry strong. Energy minerals all green. Commercial services, non-energy minerals. Industrial services, health services a little bit more mixed. UNH holding up well, but HCA to the downside. We mentioned earlier the sector could be on watch after U.S. President Donald Trump said that he'd like to have a meeting with all the health insurance companies. He said that on Friday, so we're gonna have to wait and see what happens there. Retail trade actually holding up well in certain names, but Costco and Walmart both to the downside. Tech services, again, doing quite well on the whole. Oracle to the upside, getting a positive note from Wells Fargo, but Microsoft red and Netflix down about 1% as this bidding war with Paramount Skydance for WBD does appear to continue. Apple and Broadcom notably right here in electronic technology, but other than that, pretty good look here. AMD and Nvidia both giving up some of their earlier gains on positive China chip news, but still to the upside. Lots to look at. In general, though, a little bit harder to find weaker sectors today. Back to you.
Yeah, it looks like Tesla's trying to, thanks, Adara. It looks like Tesla's trying to get going off those levels, of course, where we punched out, but that's fine. I mean, if anything, we've been pretty conservative with this trade today, and not happy because we'll be red on it, but there goes the bounce. And we might have just found the bottom there on Tesla, which is good for me because the market is starting to go back up. So we'll take a couple outs right there. We'll have to watch out for this 21 period. That's 18s. We're actually at 19s right now, so it just touched 18. 2 more pennies up from here. We'll get some more out. On the TQQs, there it is. And then if we can, anywhere around here where we've struggled before, that was the 50 period. So I'm just going to, because I get out too many too often, I'm going to wait. So we're at right near here at so this was just out because, man, I think we were pretty lucky to get filled there. So we want to make sure that we do take some opportunities to get some out if it comes back up. And again, this is a 21 period moving average. It was kind of okay. We only broke it once there, and we've been watching it slide down. So I think we're okay. Maybe I can move it. Let me just move that order that I have there. Let's put it to 17s anyways. And if it comes back up, what's the difference between 17s and 19s? 2 pennies, some might say. But 54.30 would be my next little take, and then view up, and then we'll see if we can climb through some of these levels as well as we make our march all the way back. And good job there on Tesla, man. You're done well to hold that if you did. And then here we go. There we go. We get our 17s. That's nice. And then maybe now Palantir. I mean, this dripped all the way down as well. Just heard that October's home sales maybe has been rescheduled, but we'll see. I don't know if we're expecting that today. There's AMD off that 220.
It's supposed to be any numbers.
No, yeah, so that's probably why. Maybe not too many numbers this week.
They'll be released on January 9th. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you already have that. Okay.
Oh,
wow. January 9th for October sales.
Terra misses nothing.
So a little bit late. 10:45. We'll do what's for lunch. We get lunch all this week, not next week. So thanks for pointing that one out. Adara pointed that one out to me. But here we go. AMD cooking right now. Let's see if we can get back up there to the upside. Congrats on all you Tesla longs. And then I bet you Micron. No, I was going to say I bet you Micron's up, and it's not. So kind of good feels on that one that we escaped the Micron move. We caught that knife, and then it just kept on cutting. Then went all the way down into 270 eventually before bouncing. So Micron right now cutting up some longs for sure. And here comes the TQs again. Let's see if we can get a nice upside bounce. But really, should we just get out and sort of put this money in our pocket, or let's test the shot here? Let's see how far TQs wants to go.
Oh, shoot, I just missed it. That's not what I wanted to do. Whoops. There was a good comment there I wanted to try to find in the chat. It was, who needs AI when you have Adara?
Right.
That is so true. No, but it's like how quickly could you, it was completely random, that the housing number thing. Like, you couldn't have possibly known that Sean was going to say that and then immediately knew exactly when the next housing market was going to be. Like, that's, like, I can understand if it was a topic that we had been discussing for 5 minutes or so, but no, it was pretty much instantaneous. Thank you very much, Adara, for sure. But it is, like, it's going to be a light week, obviously, when it comes to economic data, being a holiday shortened week. But we do have finally Rocket Labs. Hopefully the market catches a bit of a bid. Waited for this to break the wedge or pennant, whatever the heck you're calling this kind of a pattern, lower highs, higher lows, whatever it is. It did close above breaking that pattern. So you lose 75, I'll be out. If we can get back to the highs, you've got 76.5 and 77, which are obvious resistance as we head higher. At least the market attempts to head higher. So you have a bottoming tail candle there. So maybe the momentum can start to come back in. I do want to jump back. I have not made a single trade. I mean, the plan of action was to trade some Bitcoin today. It's not really doing much of anything. Thank goodness, because I would have been trying to go long, let's be real, and it's been only trending down. But if this can start to break this trend, use this low at about 50.5 will be the next play, in addition to Rocket Labs, or if CCL comes down to 31.5. That's the other one.
All right, if you are looking for an advanced charting experience, guys, please make sure you do scan that QR code right in front of you right there and get your first month free on us. Thank you to eSignal for sponsoring that promo. They have connection to over 50 plus brokers, so yours you can get connected to. You can trade off your charts. They have advanced screeners, which Neil and I use all of the time, and it's a very easy to understand, and it's an entitlement-based platform. So if you're looking to trade Blue Ocean, you'll hear us talk about that. You're looking to trade, anything the Japanese trade, the yen carry there, any sort of plays in China, you can get entitled for any market you want. These guys are the king of data. Go make sure you do check them out there. It is eSignal, and here's all the scanners, man. It's the fact that you can customize these, plus there's already native built-in screeners that you can check out for names coming up to VWAP. You're going to see them right here. 52-week high pushes, whatever, Fibonacci's, anything that you have set, plus, as I had said, the already curated lists as well for you that are in there. So get those scanners. They're real time, and they are absolutely fantastic. I want to thank eSignal for their continued support, and scan that QR code on your screen to get that free first month of the platform, and then just entitle, whichever markets you so shall need. Like, some platforms, they don't have the futures. Like, you can't get the CME, or you can't get this or that. On eSignal, yeah, you can get it all. So, yeah, good job there. Thanks, eSignal, for your continued support over there. All right, so as IBIT continues to fall down, I mean, that could have been a play. As you sort of see the market weakness, you can see IBIT also falling to the downside and trying to hold out for some of their bids as well, not breaking through 50-50 right here, Fabian. That one could be something that we wind up looking out for. I wrote down $50 earlier, but this 50-50 level could be some dip buy opportunities there as well. So we'll see if there's anything happening there on crypto. I don't know if I'm long the futures, so I'm not going to go both of these right now. And of course, by the futures, I mean the TQs, which is the Nasdaq. The biggest name, I like Roblox down at these levels, but I still think there's more damage to be done on this one. Really got hit there after some of their privacy issues and whatnot have come through. So we haven't bought any Roblox, haven't averaged into our position or done anything with this. It's now under the 200 period moving average, and now had like 7 or 8 basically straight down days. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of green action in there, but yeah, Roblox continues to get hit. Looking to see if and when a key level comes up for Roblox, maybe 75. Still have a little bit of a downside push happening in Roblox. And then I did want to see the story today with Alibaba. Alibaba, we had the news there that, all is good. You can buy as much NVIDIA chips as you want, but make sure you do support Chinese big data as well. So Baidu, Alibaba, different names like that have some opportunities. So we'll have to watch to see what's going on with Alibaba today as well, down into 150. It's not too much movement. And then the other stock that I traded that's kind of just hovering around where we were. It's a good thing we got out of it, because that goes all the way to 121 right there. So we can't afford to have that hit on our books. But Robinhood, up and then down, and still up on the day, but definitely trending lower. So yeah, there hasn't been really too many spots. I know you're not in silver anymore, but what was the trending? So that's kind of been flat too.
Everything is.
Yeah, things are just kind of in a range right now, isn't it?
Yeah, everything that was strong isn't anymore. And just when I was convinced, we go here, Just when I was convinced we were holding above, or not holding above, but breaking this wedge, it's like a fake out on Rocket Labs. So I like the setup. I like the risk to reward on this setup because I think it was giving you $1.50 worth of a move, which, I mean, realistically, I'd probably get like $1 average you look to take out, but it can't hold that 50 cents worth of risk. And all of a sudden, you're rinsing on that one as well. So I'm back to where I was before, which is like waiting for something on CCL because that's the only thing that's looking incredibly strong, at least for myself. Let's go. I believe we're going back to the desk, because it is time for Money Talk, see how that US dollar is doing, and US dollar yen has been the big peg.
Indeed, it is time to talk the USD, guys. We're actually going to talk the JPY as well, but let's start with this US dollar. Interesting here, we do have a little bit of a decided change in trend. As I mentioned, September 17th, 2025, I've said this a couple times, that September Fed meeting did serve as a bit of a bottom for the US dollar, higher highs and higher lows. Now, starting, I guess, with this double top that was confirmed here on November 21st of 2025, we start seeing lower highs and lower lows. So looks like we're trying to head back down here on the USD. The most recent level of support coming through last Tuesday, the 16th of December, around 97.8, currently trading around 98.2. No economic data to speak of today, and really for much of this week, but I do have to talk about comments from Fed's Myron today. He said that the Fed does have to be a little bit reactive in terms of moving policy rates so that they can maybe front run or, I guess, reduce any recession risks. Because if they're not cutting rates, I guess, in his opinion, the recession risks will continue to rise. The other thing with Fed's Myron here that I want to mention is he said he's not sure if he's going to vote for a 25 basis point or a 50 basis point rate cut at the next meeting. Now, this should not be significant, but it is because Fed's Myron, since he joined the Fed in September of 2025, has routinely voted for a 50 basis point rate cut. So if he decides to vote for 25 basis point rate cut at the next meeting, regardless of what the Fed decides, that could be significant. It will certainly be a change in trend. Take a look here at the JPY USD as well. This, as you can see, JPY trading higher against the USD. Around 8 a.m. today, we do have the financial minister of Japan, Katayama, saying that, quote, we have a free hand to take bold action on the yen. Yen pushes higher on those remarks. So nice look here for the JPY USD. And again, DXY itself, still a little bit of free fall on the daily chart. Back to you.
Yeah, the dollar heading the downside, which may have some impact on this Nasdaq. We'd like to see a stronger dollar to be repatriated back in. And a big company for strong dollar is Apple. Let's see their Apple. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm a little bit thinking what we want to do, and I think that's the reason why we have a good price on the Qs is because we literally just like waited for like some of these crazy levels that we wrote down on here to finally hit. And I think we've been pretty good. We tried Tesla there, but you know what levels I wrote down for Tesla was 482 to 483. So if we just had sort of waited for those levels instead of getting caught up in sort of the VWAP trade, I think we would have been 10 times better. But now it's back up to 490. So there goes Tesla, man. I still wish we would have had. Oh, that's too bad that we lost a little bit there. Well, we didn't. This last reload, we made money. Even this stop out was only 50 cents. I showed you that. It was actually better stop out than I thought we even got. So that was better. And now it's coming right back to the upside. So it's too bad that we got stopped out right there. But we're happy that the futures are at least trying to go. Being patient is some of the levels that I was trying to get at there when we said, you know, waiting for something to happen. And I think on a day like today, like even SoFi, we really like SoFi, but this is just, it hasn't broke through that 27.50. So now you're back into the low of the day, might be worth testing and giving yourself a couple pennies out. And if you're going 1-to-1, you know, playing something like that inside today, that might be the best of both worlds. All right, it's 10:54.
It is, and I want to give a shout out to something changing in the market. Use your opportunity to interact with the market, and that is Trade the Pool's limited risk trading model. Why? Because sometimes when you're using your own money or don't have enough capital, traders are on the sidelines and they're afraid to take losses, but this is going to change. Why? Because you can use a model where you trade the pool's capital and they take the downside. So you can focus on your discipline, your consistency, your strategies, and nothing else. You hit a profit target and you keep 70% of the profits. That way, no fear of barriers, just a real opportunity. The revolution is limited risk trading, and it is powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code you see in front of you and get 10% off your first evaluation. Want to shout out to them. I think we'll have, I don't know if we'll have Mitch on tomorrow, but usually.
Yeah, we should.
Well, I think we missed him for 1 week, but he should be on tomorrow. And we obviously had Steve Tomlin came on last week, so we appreciate them for sure. So potentially, okay, being patient. Bitcoin is trying to go. It finally, this is not a one-time. So there's a double top here at about 50.60. Wasn't really doing anything decisive off of that level, but it is now. Bitcoin breaking. Yeah, there you go. There's a little wedge, another one, right? So it gives me a pattern for an entry, and we waited for it to get down there. It also allows me to use that 50-60 area as a bit of an out. So just waiting for that next opportunity to set up. We only have about 4 minutes to go. I would suspect if this works, we're at 87.9. You're looking for 90,000 to go. Okay, I'm going to nibble in. I don't want to miss everything in this candle. Let's see. I'm not going to chase it any further than that, so trying to get some 90s in here, and then I want to be adding in the 80s because that's the price that we really want. And then we'll give it to the bottom of the wedge. As Bitcoin bouncing, my guess is I just saw someone type in BMNR. Commodity King 69 in the chat. Very similar pattern on BMNR as it's breaking as well. But remember, if you're technically speaking, BMNR is an ETH thing. And Bitcoin's going, ETH is probably going as well. So they're both breaking a little bit higher here. ETH a little bit stronger. So where your MSTRs, your Riots, your Maras, hopefully getting a little bit of a bounce for you. But I'm now into IBIT for the first time today, waiting for it to finally show some support. It has. I think all moves lead to 51.5 on IBIT. So that's going to be resistance. It has been for a while, so I'd look to take anything out before we get to that top.
Oh, gosh, Tesla now 492. Tesla absolutely motoring, man. I can't believe we took that out. Well, I can't believe it. We took that out at 486. Let's move on and figure out what's for lunch. All right, today's going to be a good one. We've never seen this before. Brand new, never before seen lunch.
I don't know about that.
Here.
That could go either way.
At Trader TV Live. The symbol is Turkish today. This is build your own chicken shawarma. I think this is potential here. Pita bread, hummus, Greek yogurt, lettuce, tomatoes. Like I said, a little tzatziki action going on there. Onions, cheese, and chef's choice salad. Today is build your own chicken shawarma. So I love chicken shawarma. We'll see how tasty the chicken is. And I think it'll be good, man. They don't seem to be messing around with chicken too much. The chicken seems to be pretty solid here sometimes.
You know that's going to be good.
Yeah, so I think that'll be really, really good. So build your own.
Definitely slow playing that.
Am
I? It's like when you sit there, you got the nuts. Someone pushed all into you, and you're just kind of like sitting there, slow rolling it. No, come on, man. That's gonna be fire.
Yep,
it's gonna be fire.
I'm definitely hoping for said fire on that one. But wow, I mean, I don't know what's going on with Tesla with only 2 minutes to go before the midday show. This name has really just whoops all the way up, and this is what we were waiting for the first time to happen. We did pretty good that time right there, all the way back up, but for some reason it stops at 491, and this time it does not, and just clears out, man. All aboard. Get on board this Tesla train right now as it continues to ride to the upside, man. 486. Like I said, we got stopped out once it broke that low right there, and happy to get stopped out there. It filled our level, but at the same time, good level, good location. Just sometimes, the market just says no and stops on a dime and turns around for you. So that's exactly what happened there. Might want to think about getting some out or even thinking about maybe even flipping short. Tesla, the range today has been pretty violent, but VWAP again. So now you're all the way back there. So have a quick look and think about your longs. I'm already out, stopped out, so don't listen to me, but you're all the way back to VWAP, which has been a good little look there. We were honestly, again, cannot make this up, but it was only going to be out of 10 more percent. We were at 28s. It went to 27s right there. So we were, again, a penny away from grabbing that fill there on the Nasdaq. So I am going to be emptying out said clip if it comes back up here, another 10%, and then we'll wait for VWAP and see if the market wants to go higher. But that run might have just happened there. So I don't know, man. We'll throw our hands up and wait to see what happens with the TQs. Good trade there. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll get out of 5% now at 17 if we can, and then we'll wait to see. There it is. We get that out. Now we'll wait to see if we do get that 28 fill. But I'm just going to be holding on to this long. I got some shopping to do here during the midday, so we'll go do some of that, and then very much last.
Is it Christmas shopping? Or is
yeah, of course, Christmas shopping.
I don't want to make the assumption. It was probably true, but
Christmas shopping. So I have no idea where I'm going.
Where you're going? Oh.
No.
Which you probably know what you need.
I got some stuff delivered here. We got some stuff going on. So there's lots of stuff happening. The money's been flowing, that's for sure, but it's on some high ticket items. So that's what we're doing. So I feel like it's better to buy things that they want, regardless of what they cost, than little things that she'll never ever use.
Remember the thing I was worried about not coming? It finally did.
Oh, good. Okay.
But then the other gift
is waiting for that.
Is not gonna make it.
Oh, it's not gonna make it at all.
So it's like one of the things that we're getting my daughter is not gonna make it. So we had to go with a bit of a backup plan.
Yeah.
There is like a postage. I don't know how much the postage strike and.
Is there still a postage strike?
I think there is still in Canada, but either way. We ordered a couple of things a while ago. Thankfully, the big gift is going to make it.
Yeah, good. That's what you need. You need the one that matters.
Oh,
really.
Before we go, last thing before we go, we'll see you guys back at 2 o'clock. But HXHX, Haoshin Holdings. I don't see a news story for Haoshin Holdings. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that probably terribly. But it is halted just shy of $1, everybody, to the upside. So this one in play, over 100 million in volume. No story that I could find. I'm sure that Sharif is clapping because of this stock, because it's a small cap and he likes them. Let's go over to the Midday boys. We'll be back at 2.
I can hear myself, Joey. I don't like that. Boom! Greetings and salutations. Beautiful.